What is up, everybody? NC.
JC and
We're back with a live stream. This one is an anime live stream. It's been a while since we did an anime live stream. But like the last one was Naruto. And then before that, it was Rent a Girlfriend. So this is Berserk 97. This comes highly acclaimed from JT, from VHS, saying that it's good. So, you know, if it comes from a couple people and they're good fans of ours, we'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's go ahead and check this out, see what's going on with this. And it's a thing where, too, if you want to watch along with us, go ahead and check the description. We got a full playlist. For whatever reason, you go ahead and check this shit out on YouTube. You search for it. You cannot find the full 26. So we got the full 26 here in the playlist. We're going to start out with the first episode, The Black Swordsman. All right. Start up with some Japanese symbols.
okay, we got the right one then.
Yes. All right. So, JC, we were having a conversation before we went live, and we were talking about how Stephanie McMahon was gloating about Netflix being number one. Or, I'm sorry, Raw and Netflix being number one. That's the thing, though, is that it's very temporary. JC, tell them why it's temporary.
So it updates when TV shows get updated, or you know when the viewership updates, like if people are watching one show more than the other, and so she was bragging about it having, you know, surpassed Squid Games and being number one in the USA. Well, when she had tweeted that, it was technically true. As of right now, I'm looking at it right now, it's number 4 in the US. And that was for the debut episode with The Rock, all the hype, everything. It couldn't even stay number 1. This is the problem going forward, is that if they cannot maintain in the top 10, I think shit's going to go down. And I think that's got to be the new narrative that we go with going forward. Because if, you know, Stephanie McMahon, hey, you want to, it's like that saying, if you want to live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. So if they want to make a big deal about being in the top 10, let's hit them with it if they're not in the top 10. Like, in my view, Raw not being in the top 10 US is like Raw getting 1 million viewers on USA or less.
Oh, yeah, and the big news going around, too, is that they will not be disclosing Netflix numbers. And then, you know what, the way I look at it is, like, you don't have to. We will find out in February, the beginning, we'll find out whether you want to or not, what the ratings are and how much viewers they're getting. My opinion is that this past Raw probably had a combined worldwide viewers of about 5 million. That is not going to continue going forward. That was a really, really bad first impression from WWE because anybody tuning in, all they would gain from it is that, okay, this is just the long match celebrity show. Who wants to see that?
Well, that's the problem with it, is and then you had The Rock go out on Netflix and talk about, oh, you know, fans whining are a bunch of fucking, you know, virgin losers. And I'm like, Rock, number 1, shut the fuck up. Number 2, the show needed to have a great first impression, and it did not. It was, honestly, I'm down to do a Triple H as a bad booker on that show alone. Because that, even though we gave it a 4 out of 10, and we were being generous, like, that show needed to it needed to be the most exciting show that they've ever done, or at least one of, and it was not.
I got 3 shows already set up for the week. So we got TWR News, we got a rebooking Raw, and we got a Triple H as a bad booker Raw Netflix debut. So yeah, we're going to make sure to go ahead and hit this up because for me, the first month of Raw is the most important month. This is the month where you're going to really change shit up. Judging from the card, I highly doubt that they're going to change much up. They're probably going to go more in a long banger filler match type direction and try to put more people on the roster, on the card this time around. Because this first time around was a terrible, like really bad job on using the roster.
Oh, we got to talk about another thing too. So we're talking about The Rock. The Rock is supposed to be a big draw, right?
Yep.
And he is. He's The Rock. The Netflix ratings, or sorry, not Netflix. The NXT ratings. So I don't know if you know this, but The Rock showed up on NXT last night.
He was advertising it. Yeah.
He was advertising it. It was well talked about. The rating just came in. Now, for NXT, it's a phenomenal rating. There's no doubt about that. 957,000 for NXT this with The Rock on it. That's a fucking fail. That is an unbelievable fail.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like anytime you add a big time WWE star on top of one of these NXT shows, you're gonna get probably 200,000 to 300,000 extra. You're not getting that pickup like you used to because nobody's watching NXT. Even New Year's Evil, nobody gives a shit about NXT. When you have Eddie Thorpe challenging for a fucking title, when you have Giulia winning the title, who gives a shit? It's
Right,
become, it's become a super indie more than ever. It's not about shining up those homegrown talents. It's about, hey, look who we got from the indies and is our new champion. Don't you care? No, I don't.
No. Well, and this is the problem: is that like it's even The Rock right now, because the booking is so shitty, can't even bring 1 million viewers to NXT. And this was advertised. This was talked about. The Rock even let it be known that he was going to NXT. I believe he said so on Raw that he was going to appear on NXT.
And it was all over social media. He did like a little Instagram promo where he's like, I'm going to show up in NXT. I'm guessing he did some fucking lame shit with Ava Raine.
No, he did. So he showed up in the back with Ava Raine and said, I'm the final boss, but you're the final boss of NXT, Ava. And I'm like, at least they're acknowledging that she's his daughter, but that's fucking lame.
It's such a fucking Nickelodeon show at this. Like, I hate to say it, out of all three of them, SmackDown's going to get the worst. I think that SmackDown is going to get the absolute worst, because with NXT, at least you have a few homegrown talents, a few up-and-comers that you can get into, like Trick, the women. But besides that, it's a desolate wasteland. SmackDown, in my opinion, since they're putting all the star power on Raw, SmackDown's going to be the Banger B channel. It's going to be all the fucking just the shitty luchadors that can't get over, all the cruiserweights, any NXT UK call-ups. It's gonna be the jobber banger show, and it will reach under 1 million guaranteed. I think before WrestleMania.
No, I think it very well could, and just the fact that The Rock showing up on it, Becky Lynch got 1 million viewers for fucking NXT. The Rock
diminishing returns though. She was part of a time when NXT actually had some promise, because she came in during the 2.0 era. So 2.0 era was getting some 800K, 700K. It was surviving. It wasn't dying on the vine, and people were claiming it's red hot like it is right now. So at the very least, she added that little bit of a bump to a 700K product, got over a mil. Whoopee. She doesn't have that star power anymore. Rock barely has any more fucking star power. What I think really soured a lot of people is him playing the bitch. If he had gone up, smacked the shit out of Cody Rhodes and just beat the crap out of him, it would have gotten people talking. And then he shows up on NXT, gets nuclear fucking heat. I bet you anything over 1 million views.
Of
him
course.
beating just have him beating the fuck out of somebody. Who cares?
Because there would have been controversy. Like, one of the things that they could have done is honestly have The Rock go out there, acting like a heel, cutting a promo. The Rock he says something bad about the fans. He shits on the company, and then his mic cuts out. The Rock is pissed. He throws his mic down. He storms backstage, walks up to Triple H and smacks him in the face, and say, "It's on now, motherfucker." And then you have him working with the new bloodline to like wreck the fucking shop, like take out the cameramen, like take out Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, just wreak havoc. And at the very end of the show, and then even have Triple H come out at the end, put Triple H to a table, Rock's putting his foot on Triple H's chest. The show's about to, they're rolling credits, it's about to end. You hear Stone Cold's music appear. Stone Cold goes in the ring and fucking stares down face to face with The Rock. And sets it up. How much more excited would the fans have been, and how much more talk would there have been if that had happened?
Stone Cold can't go anymore. That's the problem. Is that I think with Stone Cold, I think he's in great shape and all. I don't have any problem with your booking. I think it's actually pretty cool. My only problem is I don't think Stone Cold can go anymore. With Rock, he needs to not be corporate Rock. He needs to be final boss Rock. And there's a little wrinkle. I don't know if you noticed that people were showing it on Twitter, where Triple H extended his hand out to shake his hand, and Rock breezed him, just walked right by him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe they could play off of that. Maybe it's like a passive-aggressive type thing since the TKO people were there. Hopefully they let the reins off since those people won't be there anymore. I'm hoping that it was just the LA show, and now they can fucking let the guardrails down and do a little bit more, not corporatized, sanitized bullshit. Let's hope.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, they needed to make it much more exciting than what it was. The fact that it's barely, like, it's not, it's sinking in the top 10. It started out at the top. I'll give it credit where credit's due. It was number one.
Tuesday
which makes
morning,
sense. You got the Rock showing up on your show. the casuals, everybody's going to tune in to see what that is going to look like. The fact that it's sinking as fast as it is not a good sign. What are the other shows going to be when they don't have The Rock, when they don't have John Cena or Stone Cold or any top megastars? What is it going to be? I mean, if this show is not in the top 10 every week, at least number 9 or number 10, that's a fail. That is an epic fucking fail, and Netflix can say, you know what? This is not what we're fucking paying for.
I got to find out more about this. PRW, where'd you get your number from? Because from what I can understand, they weren't dropping the streaming until later on. So I'm not sure. JC, did you hear anything about a number for that?
I didn't hear a number about that, but that does look like the SmackDown rating.
Yeah, no, that sounds believable. Don't get me wrong. It's just it was my impression that they weren't releasing the Netflix ratings right away.
Yeah, like right away. I mean, it could be. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's already sinking in the top 10, and this was the best it was ever going to get. This is the most hype that the show was ever going to get. Right. And it's looking like Stone Cold and Triple H are not on good terms. Like they're not going to be able to work a deal out. And that would have boosted the show big time.
Well, it's just the whole thing, too, with Stone Cold. He's shown that he doesn't want to take part in anything serious. Like, even with Kevin Owens, he just showed up, worked a quick match, and fucking bounced. He doesn't want to be working under Triple H. A lot of these old school wrestlers, they do not want to work for Triple H because they've seen what happens when you work for Triple H. Yeah. Look at Edge, look at Bobby Lashley, look at Cena. He will bury the fuck out of you. He will embarrass you. And I know Cena, he's the humble guy. He don't mind jobbing to fucking Rusev, Alberto Del Rio, whoever the fuck they throw in front of him, Solo Sikoa. It don't matter. He'll job to whoever. But Triple H takes it, oh, you really want to be humble? All right, Johnny Gargano, come on out. You know, he's that type of guy. He's that type of guy. And yeah, I look at it like, you know what? They're probably going to try to set up Cody Rhodes versus John Cena just to have him job out. Just to have John Cena job out one last time and quote unquote pass the torch to a guy who's almost 40 years old. Makes sense, right?
I know, like that's the problem is that like it's giving the fans nothing to get really care about. Because who's really going to expect John Cena to go over Cody Rhodes? Like
nobody.
That's the problem.
Well, but you know, you have all these British Mark dirt sheets all pushing Cena deserves a 17th title run over your beloved Cody. You sure? I mean, he's got to beat somebody. Who's he going to beat? Is he going to beat Cody or Gunther? Who you want to sacrifice?
The problem with the logic of having Cena back and holding the championship is Cena's he's a movie star. He's got a movie schedule. He's got to record movies. You can't rely on him to be there. So it's like, how can you expect him to actually win this title? You can't.
Okay. Oh no! For real, it's a situation where John Cena, he's on his way out. It's almost like if they give him the title, they're just doing some Daniel Bryan shit. It's literally two retards ripping off of each other at this point. Hey, you're gonna rip off John Cena's retirement angle with Jeff Jarrett? Okay, we'll rip it off with him winning the title and holding it during his retirement. It's like, it's ridiculous. I foresee if they do go forward, he will job to Cody, just because Rock. Yeah. They want to play the shit where his schedule's not stable. He's playing buddy-buddy with Cody because he doesn't know when he's going to be able to come back. So it's a very unique situation where we're wondering, is he just razzing us right now, or is he actually setting up time for a movie? That's the one thing where, guys, by the way, we will have Zero news on real soon. I talked to him.
Nice.
We're aiming for right after Royal Rumble, heading into Mania. So I'm looking to get Zero on here, and I'm looking to really get to the bottom of what's going to happen for WrestleMania before everybody else. Because Zero has proven he's got the track record. People will always try to disenfranchise him and say, oh, you got this minor detail wrong. You got this minor detail wrong. What you don't understand is Triple H is one of the biggest fucking mark promoters in the history of pro wrestling. And he is always on Twitter. Always with this fucking burner. Always checking out all this Mark shit. He has his nose to the internet. He sniffs out all this shit before anybody else. He's like, he knows. He knows. He literally knows at all times what's going on and what people are saying about his company, no matter how small the account is.
I mean, for sure. And that's one of the things that we got to be, concerned about too, is that, Triple H will change things on the fly. He will do that too, just like Vince did. So it's like Zero could give you news that is accurate to that point, but then Triple H could change his mind, or somebody could get injured. Right. And so like that's the problem with it, is that, he could still be like right in the end, is that like he had the right information, but Triple H may have just said, you do something different. So
I mean, let's not forget, Zero revealed on our show that Triple H held a special meeting. This is at the time when Stephanie was still in charge. It was her, Stephanie, and Bruce and Nick Khan, and they got all together and they said, from now on, we're going to control how the news gets out because there's been a lot of leaks. And this is right after he showed up on our show. So it's one of those things where it leads to a lot of coincidences and a lot of situations where we're like, okay, this guy, he has to at least know who we are. You know, it's not us, our imaginations. It's so many coincidences. You know, the universe can't be in that much synchronicity. You know, something's got to give.
It's. I mean, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, maybe it is a duck, you know. And so with Triple H doing this, like, honestly, would it surprise me with how online these wrestlers are nowadays? No, not at all.
No, not at all. So VHS was saying there's a WWE rumor where they planned on pushing Hogan for a heel push after the mass booing. So the fans ironically might get Hulk more TV time despite not wanting him there. Fucking smart. Well, what they don't understand, and I even saw... I just had to. I saw it on YouTube. I tuned in for a little bit to JD and Solomonster to see what they wanted to say about this. And Solomonster was like, he was just there just to fucking sell him beer. Look at the fucking mat, you fucking drowsy retard. What is the fucking logo on the mat? His beer. Right. Even if he's not there, it makes all the fucking sense for one of your fucking top sponsors to fucking show up, especially if he's a famous celebrity wrestler like Hulk Hogan. I think, me personally, I wouldn't have veiled Hulk Hogan in LA. I would have saved him for MSG. Because LA is too much of a psychotic liberal market. At least in New York, there's a few conservatives. I don't think it would be as bad as the California crowd, so to speak. Well, I think he would get more of a reaction.
My question is, how out of touch can you be to think that unveiling Hulk Hogan in LA wasn't going to get any heat?
Maybe it was Triple H, like, oh, watch, he's going to get so many boos. Because never forget, 30th anniversary or 25th anniversary. Remember, Hogan was doing the thing to the ear, you know, the wave to the ear, and Triple H is in the background just scowling mad dogging him. So
Which
don't
is
forget,
why
man.
We can't operate like, you know, Triple H isn't vindictive, because he is. You know, Triple H has the power now to do really what the fuck he wants, and he's got a lot of leeway from TKO just because their standards are low and really... Honestly, the reason why WWE is doing as well as they are right now, attendance-wise, is just there's no competition. Like, if you're a diehard wrestling fan and you're pissed off by AEW, where the fuck else are you going to go? It's WWE or TNA.
You really have no other options because AEW is just it's a pointless, void wasteland of just... Yeah. It's really just waste. It's so much potential wasted, money wasted, production wasted, a perfectly good TV deal that another company could use, like TNA, wasted. Mm-hmm. There's so much wasted with that company, and that's what really drives me nuts. And it's becoming even more apparent when AEW can't even get, the Dynamite show can't even get 600 anymore. It's lucky to get over 550K. What was the last one, 548?
For what? For Dynamite?
Yeah.
Well, let me pull it up right here. Give you the exact number. It was... Load. Come on. Yeah, 588.
588. So, okay, so... yeah, but still, under 600K. This is what I'm saying. They're even on a big show, they're lucky to get under 600K. They don't get 600K anymore. So it's you're watching the ceilings drop. So it's eventually going to get to the point where Dynamite can barely get 500K, and then barely get 400K, and then barely get 300K, and Dave's going to he's going to do mental gymnastics trying to stick up. Oh, wait, you get the demo number. The demo is still fucking over with on 18 to 35. You know, he will do mental gymnastics to stick up for these TNA 2016 on Pop TV ratings. Trust me.
Because with Dave, it's like, who else is going to embrace him like Tony Khan is? Or the Young Bucks. Nobody. It's because they took him in. Every other wrestling company shat on Dave and said, get the fuck out of here, you mark. Like WCW did that to him. WWF did that to him. ECW, for the most part, did that to him. They didn't suck his dick like Tony Khan does. So, like, I think money could be a factor, but I think a lot of it is that they embrace Dave. They welcome him in. So he's like, oh, I finally belong. Well, yeah, I mean, you do belong in fucking AEW with a bunch of out-of-touch, you know, mark dipshits. So,
It really is the old dork Mark wrestling fed right now. If you're an old dork Mark, you're in AEW. That's just how it is. But
home.
for real. For real. So thus far, Berserk is pretty crazy from what I can see. There's some giant cobra being God, it reminds me of that one movie with Dennis Quaid about the Snake Man and the Nightmares. God, what was that called?
Oh God, I know. Yeah, I know the name.
Dreamscape.
Too.
Dreamscape,
Yes.
I think. Yeah, that was a crazy movie for the '80s. That was a good one. But yeah, so he's okay. So he's got a cannon in his arm, and he just blew this Cobra guy right in the face. Now he's got a giant Thor hammer
Sword.
or a sword. He's got a sword. Oh, he cut his head off.
There's a lot of blood.
Cut him in half. That's like a half torso cut right there.
Damn.
That's a fatality. All right, get with the blood. I don't understand where this is taking place. It looks like hell because there's just a bunch of fire and burnt down shit everywhere. But I don't know. It could be a burnt down town.
He's cutting demons in half. That's good by me.
Hey, always. So MM Garza was saying, I heard reports Liv was supposed to have the title till WrestleMania. I'm thinking that it may have been something where Triple H was like, you know what, I changed my mind on that. Let's do Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. You know, and I feel like with TKO, because we feel it was TKO, with TKO pulling the trigger on Tiffany, he's like, all right, Rhea wins the title back then. I think it was kind of like a trade. Like, you get your way, I get my way.
That's right. Well, the thing with Triple H is that it's really all dependent on, like, because things are going well for WWE right now. I mean, their attendances are great. You can't deny that. They're making all these new deals. So, like, money-wise, Triple H is being insulated and protected from the low ratings, the declining interest. They're fine. When that is not happening, when business goes down, when attendances are dropping, Raw is no longer in the top 10 of Netflix week after week after week, I think that you could see pressure put on him. I think they'll keep him in there for a little bit until he proves that there's no fucking way he could turn it around. Then I think it could be possible that Triple H could at least not be involved with Raw. That is a possibility.
I've always looked at it like he's got a ceiling till about 2026. For whatever reason, I see either late 2025, early 2026, he's going to be unseated. It's not going to be immediate. With a brand new deal,
no,
they're going to give him a grace period. So he's probably going to get 6 months to a year of a grace period, and they're going to give him a chance to raise the ratings up. And he's going to say, oh, just wait till WrestleMania, just wait till SummerSlam. He's going to tell them all the excuses they need to just have faith in him. And he's probably going to try to make some changes. I can foresee him ponying up some dollars and getting Brock back in. I can see him trying to get Rock to do more appearances, even Undertaker, if it means boosting the rating. Hogan, he will do whatever he can, even if it's against his own merits. He will do whatever he can to book his shitty wrestling show the way he wants to. Even if it means putting people he doesn't like, part-timers, on the show to do anything about the rating.
No, I feel like, I just feel like eventually there's going to be pressure for Triple H to improve the ratings or the performance if they're consistently like out of the top 10. And that's a narrative where we can hit them on week after week after week, not in the top 10, not in the top 10, not in the top 10, again and again and again. And so I think that's what we should do going forward, is like just, hey, let them know that not in the top 10, you know, Netflix is paying all that money.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is that we're both Netflix subscribers. Right. So we can literally log on right now and see what is in the top 10. And that's live via time. You know, that's updated immediately. So, well, not immediately, within 24 hours. But I look at it like this. Every 24 hours, you're going to be able to see that and see which way it was moving. Honestly, before that, when I took the snapshot, Monday night? Fireplace Screensaver was in the top 10. A fireplace screensaver. Not Raw, a fireplace screensaver. And lo and behold, Tuesday morning pops up. Oh, everybody, Raja Giri's like, oh, Raw's number one.
Which makes sense, when you think about it, because like the vast majority of people that are going to watch it are not going to watch it live. They're going to see, oh, Raw's on Netflix now. Oh, they got The Rock on there, and click, and then they'll watch it. So I think that makes sense, is that the most people were going to watch it the day of and the day after, not live.
Well, because the fact Monday is just, it's always been one of those days where if people are going to watch anything, it's going to be football. You know, that's right. What kind of Monday is about. You know, they're not going to watch wrestling. And especially, doesn't Netflix, they have a game day deal, right? What days do they usually show NFL games?
Christmas Day, I don't know if they're doing playoffs. Let's do NFL, Netflix, playoffs. Don't know if they are.
Well, I wasn't sure. How often do they have the NFL game day specials?
Well, they just had it for Christmas Day, from what I'm looking at.
All right.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about the playoffs. Okay.
All right. So, Truth was saying, give it 2 weeks, no normal human will care anymore.
Right.
Well, and that's the unfortunate thing, especially when you already look at the booking and you see, what is it? They got Pentagon versus Chad Gable. I think Dakota Kai is wrestling. It's anytime you go super NXT on a big card, you're asking for low ratings. That one, I don't even think they're going to place in the top 10 if the card is as indie-rific as I'm thinking it's going to be.
Well, I mean, going forward, you saw what the intent of that show was. The intent of Netflix on Raw, that first episode, the intent of Triple H was to give as many NXT Black and Gold darlings the rub as he possibly could. Look at what he did with The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Well, I mean, not all NXT Black and Gold. Look at what he did with Undertaker and Rhea Ripley.
Well,
Look at what he did with the main event.
JC, you're not wrong. Remember, he was actually part of the NXT show, the very first NXT show, so you're not wrong about that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, it was so obvious what the intent of that show was. It was not to maximize the potential of viewership. It was more so about putting over NXT Black and Gold, because Triple H saw that as his baby. And that just goes to, like, further emphasize, our view of, Triple H coming back in the first place after his heart incident. He comes back to NXT. Now, this is after Vince had changed everything about NXT, fired all the Black and Gold darlings within a week. Triple H coming back to the company. You get this article released from the Washington Post about, Vince McMahon and all these scandals, and then everything just snowballs from there, and Vince has to leave. Like, Triple H had the fucking motive there. He did. 100%. And then what did Triple H do right after taking control back? What was one of the first things he did?
Hired back all his non-draws.
Week after week, you would just see them appearing. Johnny Gargano, and then Tommaso Ciampa.
Fucking Bronson Reed. Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae, Karrion Kross. You saw, what's his name? Dexter Lumis being brought back. It's like week after week after week.
Did you see Keith Lee live at ringside?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was live at ringside for the Netflix show. So they're bringing it back soon. With him showing up at that award show, he's just waiting to get out of his AEW contract, and he's coming back with a bunch of other people.
I mean, with Keith Lee, I'm fine with it because he at least looks like a star, and he's got a little bit of charisma. I'll give him that. But
He's a big boy, yeah?
Yeah. But, like, honestly, I don't care.
I'm just saying. That's the next AEW guy.
No, I totally understand. And I agree. I think that probably is the next NXT guy. And I think when Adam Cole's available, you're going to see him go over. Triple H will get his way so long as WWE is financially thriving. If they're making money, Triple H is going to be safe right where he is.
Right.
Or if Raw is consistently out of the top 10 of Netflix, then you could see changes being made. But, honestly, I just, and it, as a little aside, it does bring me a little bit of happiness that even JD said that the Raw debut on Netflix was mid as fuck.
Yeah, he was saying all the true fans would have hated it. And I think that because the thing for him is that he didn't get a full card of bangers, and the long matches that he did get didn't feature the guys that he wanted to see. If you would have had, like, Pentagon versus Andrade in that opening match, he would have given the show, like, easily an 8 or 9 out of 10. I think the fact that it was just two guys who are known for a boring brawling style, not an exciting brawling style, but a boring one, put against each other for that long was a way to tune people out. So it's like, after people saw that in the women's title match, that's why you saw so many people leaving in the background. They had already blew their load. You should have saved matches like that for the main event and opened up with CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. That way, at least, you would have carried the momentum. I think having Jay versus Drew McIntyre was absolutely fucking pointless, because that was the official match. You started seeing people walk out because you had a momentum killer. What was the reason for anybody to sit through that fucking match? And even then, what's the reason to sit through CM Punk versus Seth Rollins? At least with Solo and Roman, you had that tribal chief bullshit going on. That was supposed to be a WrestleMania match. And then you had Rhea versus Liv, supposed to be a WrestleMania match. CM Punk versus Seth, supposed to be a WrestleMania match. You gonna tell me that Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre was supposed to be a WrestleMania match? Because I know it wasn't. And even though just the way it ended, just with that stupid fucking roll up, that doesn't make Drew look good coming off a fucking loss to Punk. He just lost his fucking his one of his family members. Let him get a win.
Right, absolutely. You know, and the thing too is like what they did with the Undertaker. It would have been so much better had they have like even if they still did that Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso match. You have the match. Jimmy Uso goes over. After the match, Drew McIntyre gets heat on Jimmy Uso. Just beats the fuck out of him. All of a sudden, the lights turn out, and you hear bong, and you see the Undertaker walk down to the ring and chokeslam him. Like, something like that would have at least got the fans to pop.
Yeah, it would have, but, you know, that's the thing, is we can dream book all day, and trust me, this weekend we're going to dream book a great Raw with everybody involved. I feel that with everybody that was involved, it was just a matter of how they were used and how they were written in. I think that everybody can be utilized in a way that you could feature them, but that's the problem with WWE, is they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And when you have Triple H, it's the blind leading the blind, man. So, quick question about the intro. I don't think it's bad. You know, it's got kind of like an indie vibe to it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, I will check that out, PRW. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of rumors going around about that number. I saw some numbers later on, and I'll bring them up, but Hypot said, reminder, Generation X is known for their nihilism. That they are. I mean, that's the whole staple of the generation is fuck everything, fuck this, everything dies. That's how it is. JT was saying, the first episode of Berserk 97 covers a part of the Black Swordsman arc from the manga. Golden Age is before BSA. Episode 1 takes place after episode 25. Okay, so that's why people were leaving it out of the playlist. See, JT filling us all in here. I had no idea. I'm coming in with a fresh set of eyes to this, so, you know, appreciate that. Yeah, so, let's see what we got here. JT was saying W and I celebrate Giulia's title win. Yeah. All right, ladies, guess who just won the NXT Women's Championship? Oh, Justin, tell us who won it.
Oh, Justin, who won?
The sexiest new addition to WC Waifu Control, Giulia.
Oh, Giulia, so happy for you. Oh,
thank you.
Oh, you're so amazing. Oh, so much better than Roxanne. Oh,
thank you. What I get for my big title win? Well, for your big title win, I figure, ladies, let's go celebrate with style. How about we go to Six Flags? Oh, I got the Six Flags, yeah, roller coaster, go really fast, go zoom, zoom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, we'll go zoom, boom, boom on the roller coaster, trust me. Oh, Justin, you're so naughty, oh.
Are you kidding? It's all Corky's fault.
Yeah, they did a stream, I want to say it was like Monday or Tuesday. I just was on YouTube, briefly tuned in to see what they were talking about, and that's what they were talking about at the time. MM Garza was saying, what do you think they should do with Liv for WrestleMania since she lost the title? I really think they should keep her in the picture, because she's a big reason why Raw was even surviving for the longest time. So, even though they're going to go forward with their jack-off match that nobody wants to see with Rhea and Io Sky, give her somebody to work with that's a name. What about Trish Stratus?
Trish and Liv? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I like that. That's actually a really good idea because it gives you're bringing back star power and you're still utilizing Liv Morgan in a big way. So I'm totally cool with that.
Well, that's the thing too is Trish can do the job. I mean, especially for somebody like Liv Morgan, why not? I mean, she's the pretty much the hot blonde that's around right now. Who else you got?
Oh God! And that just sparked like a thought in my head where they're actually gonna fucking do it again, aren't they? They're gonna bring back Becky Lynch to feud with Rhea Ripley. They're actually gonna fucking do it again. Are they out of their fucking mind?
Well, that match is not what I heard. What I heard is Lyra Valkyria I think that's how her name is pronounced. And she's going to be going up against Becky in sort of like the rematch since, she beat Becky for the title. That was her last match or whatever. Kind of like resuming the feud. I don't know if that's going to happen. Whatever. As long as Becky is out of the title picture, out of contender pictures, it's fine. Whatever. Let her have her fucking grudge match. Put it on the fucking co-main or bottom of the card. I don't give a shit. But I think Liv deserves either a big name that she goes over or a title match heading into the next show.
I totally forgot. Did Lyra Valkyria have a feud with Rhea Ripley? I can't remember. I mean,
I think over in NXT UK they did, but not on the main roster. So I'm not sure. I'm not absolutely sure about that because, like I said, NXT UK. What did we tune into? Like maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, they did. They did a feud back in 2023 in NXT. Yikes! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's gonna be bad.
Like I get wanting to build up Lyra Valkyria. I get it, dude. That feud is gonna fucking suck.
Well, because it's going to go over. Becky's going to go over. She has to go over coming back. That's her big match at WrestleMania. So she has to beat Lyra. She has to get her win back, so to speak. That's how all these egotists do. I'll let you get this one win, but you better believe I'm going to get the next win and the win after, so I win the rubber.
Well, see, I think that if they're gonna build Lyra up like that, or try to, that they're gonna have Becky do the job to Lyra. I could see that happening. Yeah,
But Lyra, you can't. I just don't think Lyra's world title contender material. At the very least, Becky Lynch, she's got faded name value, but there's still name value there. Especially with the comeback, you can kind of get a little bit of a pop off of it. But that's the thing. I just don't think Lyra's ready for that. I think she's ready for you want to give her the women's intercontinental, whatever. That's fine. But I don't think she's ready for that main level. I would rather see, honestly, Chelsea Green at the main level over Lyra. Just me personally. I think she's more well-formed.
I mean, they have
what the fuck?
Look, honestly,
they got some naked little boy with the sword. What the fuck is this shit?
Oh, dude.
What the fuck is this shit?
What are you doing, Berserk? What are you doing?
I mean, granted, they made him genderless, but still, it's what the fuck is this?
He's gender fluid.
See some fucking psycho Ken doll chopping down demons in his dream. What the fuck? This show is a trip, man. I mean, it's a cool trip, well, except for the little kid shit, but it's a cool trip, damn it.
Well, they got some spiky blonde-haired guy getting what looks like a blowjob from a dog. Oh, is that Cody?
Oh, Cody, you didn't know that I have an anime reference. What the?
I was in an anime getting a blowjob from a doggy. Oh, yeah.
Damn, he's been rolling with this shit for a while. Especially if this is back in 1997.
This could have been the inspiration, for all we know.
Maybe. Well, he's big into video games and anime, so it's very much a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, we do know that about Cody, but I mean,
yes.
Honestly, so far with Berserk, it's pretty good. It's violent, bloody, it's edgy.
And it's quick. Everything is quick. It's not slow paced. Even the talking parts, it's very minimal, and then they get to just bloodshed. So that's good.
Bloodshed.
So Hype Pop was saying Triple H has basically become, the Elon Musk of WWE. In a lot of ways, he has because I think a lot of people, they got behind Elon at first. They're like, wow, he's giving us what we want. We want our free speech. We could say whatever we want, And then it got to the point where he started clamping down. Like Triple H started clamping down. Started giving them shitty shows back to back to back to back. Started tuning people out. Started turning people against him. And that's how pretty much is for Triple H right now. You see a lot of people. When JD is saying that Raw was not a good Raw, we figured he would be one of those people that was going to be was great. And that's one thing that I did too after the show went off the air. I wanted to go on Twitter and see if any of the popular dork accounts were ranting and raving about how awesome it was. Ibu didn't say shit. JD didn't say shit. Fucking Wrestle Purist didn't say shit. Public Enemies Podcast didn't say shit. All of them were just talking about Hogan getting booze. That's all. That's all they fucking were focusing on is Hogan getting booze, not how bad was the fucking show. It's almost like they wanted to divert attention from how bad the show was by focusing on Hogan. Just my opinion.
Well, I think it's definitely Hogan getting booze was a big topic of of discussion for sure. So it makes sense that they would bring it up. But I have seen a lot of wrestling fans that would have put Triple H over in the past shitting on the booking of the show, saying that while it was decent, it was not up to par for what they were expecting. And honestly, it was not. It was a far cry from what they should have delivered. It should have been way fucking better. Way fucking. We so far have booked a more compelling Raw than what they have been able to book.
But you know what the sad thing is that all it would have taken them for a perfect Raw is just changing out who was in those long matches. Had it been like, let's say, like we were saying, Johnny Gargano going up against Andrade in the co-main instead of Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre, they would have fucking loved it. Had it been Pentagon and Chad Gable doing 45 minutes in the beginning, they would have fucking loved it. They would have said, oh my god, I can't believe they brought real wrestling to Netflix, and given it a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. And they would have said, they would have given a ding or two to the fucking celebrities, but they would have loved the fucking bangers and the fact that the talents that they love, getting super long fucking matches and drawing people away.
But my question is, why would you have pay-per-view matches on a Raw? Why would you give those away on Raw when you have Royal Rumble right around the corner?
He wanted to blow his load early. This is very much a Tony Khan type situation where you want to get people to tune in for a big show, so you'll blow your load early. And that's what Tony and Triple H both do, is they like to blow their load with big matches to the point where you get to the pay-per-view, you don't care about the rematch. You already saw them fight. Well, it's in a steel cage now. They got chairs and tables. Wow. That's going to make it so much better. It's like when you've seen a match before, they've already burnt off the heat. It's hard to gain that heat again. I've always felt that the best way to build to a pay-per-view is through segments, through scenes, through build-up like that. You can have physical confrontations, you can have talking, but you don't have to have matches every fucking week between the people. Not even like tag matches or they're lackey versus one dude or any shit like that. You could just build it up with segments and heat and outside of the ring shit like we've been talking about. You don't have to stick to this, it has to be a long match in a ring bullshit.
I feel like for a show like that for the debut episode on Netflix, it's not only okay, but it should be mandatory that you overbook the card. And by overbook, what I mean is like you fucking load it with as much star power as you possibly can. That needs to be the most holy shit show that you could possibly fucking book.
But then again, they did load it up with star power. It was just all very underutilized. It's a situation where, especially for The Rock and Cody Rhodes, that was the biggest apex point where they could have done something very interesting for the card. Biggest apex point. Second would be John Cena not announcing that he's going in the Rumble, but that he's going after somebody. And then he reveals it over the weeks who he's going after. And then maybe leads up to John Cena versus Karrion Kross. I would love to see that personally because I want to see Kross get that big name at Mania. I would love to see that for him. He deserves that more than anybody else on the roster.
And with no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, please.
Well, with Kross being utilized, needing to be utilized, I really think there's a lot more they could do with the Bloodline. Like have The Rock lead the new Bloodline, and then like Stone Cold, like if he were to come back, have him have his own faction to go up against the Bloodline. In that faction, you could have Braun Breaker, Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, and somebody else.
Well, but even then with Final Testament, I feel like Kross is a sufficient enough leader where he can make those two meatheads his lackeys, you know? Because that's the thing, too, is like it doesn't really matter, like, if Akam and Razor are good wrestlers. They're just big fucking muscle dudes. That's what they are. They're the muscle. They're there to just fuck shit up. And I think it just suits Kross perfectly. I would like it maybe if they added, like, I don't know, maybe another mic guy to the stable. But I think as it is right now, he's got the backup, he's got the valet. Give him the fucking push. Stop wasting his time with this Uncle Howdy bullshit. That's what they'll probably do, sadly. They'll probably do Final Testament versus Wyatt 6 at WrestleMania and some Firefly Funhouse bullshit match. And that'll be Kross's big WrestleMania moment instead of actually fighting somebody like John Cena. I hate that John Cena is going to get wasted on Cody Rhodes. He does not need that win at all. He doesn't need it. Give it to somebody that's coming up that needs that win. Now, I know, like we say all the time, Kross ain't the youngest guy. He's still a guy that hasn't got that chance. He's, mid-30s? Give him that chance. Let him have it. Nobody else, like, that's the thing, is everybody who has had a run at the title or is going to have a run at the title heading into WrestleMania has already had a chance before. Let a guy who's fresh, you need fresh blood at the top, he's perfect. Guys like him and Braun Breaker are perfect for bringing up to the main event.
They really are, and I think they needed to build him up a long time ago. And they still could, but with Triple H, you can't expect that. But, you know, what they could do with the Wyatt Sixes, honestly, for WrestleMania season, it would make much more sense for Alexa Bliss to have her own faction and Uncle Howdy to have his own faction, and the two go at it at WrestleMania. Like, that to me would make much more sense. Rather than having the Final Testament versus Wyatt Six.
My only problem, though, is Triple H is booking it. If Vince were booking it, I would have all the faith in the world that Vince could maybe do something with that goofy bullshit jobber stable. But you take Alexa Bliss getting her own stable, can you imagine how watered down the next stable is going to be? That Uncle Howdy stable is concentrated. That's Triple H. Oh, this is the best of my brilliant mind. Can you imagine what fucking... He'll put, like, the Chinese sleep witch in there and the other Chinese jobber in there. Just, you know, he'll rehire Eric Young, okay? This is how desperate he will get. And me personally, I just... Let Howdy go out another way. If you have to give him a match against Chad Gable, since they've been building that feud for a while, give Chad Gable that match. Let Chad Gable go over him at Mania. Let Cross get a better match. Let Cross get Cena.
Honestly, I'm totally cool with that. Like, I really think that, that Cross needs to be built up. Like, if you're, it's time. That
it is.
He's shown that he could do so much more. Build the guy up.
Well, you know what's sad is they actually had him on Raw on Netflix while we were forced to watch one of, like, an hour and a half of a commercial break. He was on and doing a segment with The Miz. So they were having regular segments that we were missing, you know? I think that's fucked up, though, is like they do that shit knowing that people aren't going to see it on TV, and yet they feature just useless shit, like Travis Scott coming out and smoking a joint. Who cares? Like,
so edgy. Ooh.
Oh, he's friends with Jey Uso. Great. Who fucking gives a shit? Do they show a picture of him standing next to Michelle McCool and Undertaker? Michelle McCool towered over him. Undertaker made him look like an adopted 12-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
He's so tiny. I've never seen a rapper so tiny before. I'm no offense to anybody that tiny, but to see this larger-than-life personality, and he's like maybe 5'2", it was like Rey Mysterio was probably taller than him.
He's a rapper. He's a big star rapper. Why doesn't he have an entourage?
I think it was one of those things where they were off camera. I think maybe he did have an entourage, but that's the type of guy where I think he was just waiting for the heat to die down so he could make a big appearance like that. Because let's not forget, 4 years ago, that motherfucker was rooting on people as they were getting trampled down at his concert. Rooting it on. Getting off on that shit. Dirty. Evil.
He's a selfish prick. He's an egomaniac. I mean, just looking at the guy, this guy's an egomaniac.
Oh, yeah. No, he thought he was the hottest shit. Like, I had never seen a midget think they were that hot shit.
He's half right.
Not even Mini-Me. Not even Mini-Me at his peak during Austin Powers thought he was that hot shit. This guy, like, walked in, he's like, yeah, I'm the hottest shit on the fucking dance floor. No, you're not. No, you're not, bro. Dude, Jey Uso walked out and sunned him. Made him straight up look like a little kid. And that's how it was with everybody. Literally every wrestler standing next to him. Triple H did the thumbs up shit. Just immense. Like a giant and an ant. It was It was too much.
Well, like Vern Troyer was like cool as fuck from everything I heard.
Yeah. No, he was a cool dude. Alejandro said, I saw people saying we had our expectations too high. The show was good and that it's only the first episode. These people just want us to accept trash. And Alejandro, you could see how vehement we were during the show. We were very adamant that we wanted to come in with a positive slate. This was a big chance for WWE to succeed. We wanted them to succeed more than anybody. Same with AEW. We want all these companies to succeed, especially with all these extra eyeballs. You know, you got AEW on Max, and now you got Raw Netflix. You got all these extra eyeballs now. They should maximize them. And they left a steaming pile of shit that even the hardcores fucking hated on.
Right.
Because of the fact that, like we said, if you're going to give them long matches, it has to be indie favorites. It has to be ballers. It has to be ballers, so to speak, like they fucking say. It has to be those type of shitty wrestlers. If it's not those shitty wrestlers, if it's Roman and Solo, they're going to tune out. And not only that, but for Roman and Solo, what has Roman always excelled in? What actually brought in the ratings? The segments. Him doing the segments with Paul Heyman, not the matches. No. He was known for doing the matches at the pay-per-view. You didn't get the ratings on that. When he was doing the segments, he was actually fueling interest for the Bloodline and making people care about the Bloodline. And now since Triple H has watered him down and embarrassed the fuck out of him, made him drop out now to Solo, he got his revenge win. Ooh. But that's the thing. It's like, why is he having a rubber match with this piece of shit? Why is even a lay on the fucking pole match? Like, why is it even a stipulation they're fighting over a necklace? Because you know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody's getting sent to NXT or retiring or anything.
I mean, it's all Triple H knows how to book. Is his because this is a guy who booked NXT Black and Gold, the bangers, takeovers, all that. In his mind, he's like, okay, well this needs to be pay-per-view quality. I'm gonna book this like a pay-per-view. Well, he did, and you have a lot of wrestling fans shitting on it. I mean, and saying that we have our expectations too high. This is the debut episode on Netflix where they're bringing their biggest guns to the fucking fight. This should have been like, how many holy shit moments did you have on the show?
None. Absolutely
right.
Fucking none. Well, and people say, oh, but it was so great that Cody and Rock had a heartwarming moment. Oh, John Cena announced he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. Did you see Undertaker raise Rhea Ripley's hand? Did you see Hulk Hogan get all the boos? Did you see her win the world title? I saw one fucking dork say, oh, my mommy Rhea won the title. I can sleep peacefully now. And this is the type of fucking fan base that these assholes entitle, like Triple H and even Rhea Ripley. She loves having these sicko fans because they cheer for her ass. They're the few that will. The sickos fucking love her. So yeah, they were happy about their mommy winning the title. That made them fucking ecstatic through the moon. But yeah, it's like they didn't really give a shit about Roman and Solo. It was mostly the segments that they would talk about. They weren't talking about the matches afterwards, except for Rhea. That's about it.
No, I mean, that's a problem, is that they should have been talking about, like, all the big shit that's happening. A lot of the people were, and rightly so in my view, complaining that The Rock put over Cody Rhodes.
Gross.
Well, it's
Gross,
like, what happened to the heel Rock? It's like, we wanted to see heel Rock, not kiss-ass corporate babyface Rock. And then The Rock has, he goes and says, everybody should know that I'm 20 steps ahead. Well, motherfucker, we're 60 steps ahead. Because what you're gonna do, we don't want to see. We want to see Cody Rhodes get bloodied and get dethroned as the champion. That's what we fucking want.
I think what Rock's say, if I had to hypothesize, I think what he's going to do is he's acting like everything's good. Like I said, because all the TKO executives were there. You have to make a very positive impression in a very corporatized environment with all those Hollywood executives, all those celebrities. You have to keep it very clean, keep it very respectful, keep it very safe. I think going forward, though, I think Rock will pull the ruse on Cody Rhodes and will get the rivalry going back again. I think he's just waiting for the appropriate time. And I think this was a way of just basically making everybody think that shit is cool when it's not. That's how I feel. I think he's going to turn on Cody and go back to being final boss. I think this is just a ruse. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, because if they just drop it out of nowhere and then have The Rock go up against Roman Reigns, who gives a shit? I don't care. Like, we should have gotten that last year. I don't care to see it now.
Did this chick jumped on top of his sword and he caught the sword with his teeth? Why does he have a dragon's tail? Is he like part demon?
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Is he a furry? I don't know what's going on here, but they're having some sort of fight. He just decked her in the face.
Damn.
He ain't fucking around. He's like, sup, bitch? Kicked her in the jaw. Damn.
Hey, broke her jaw.
Broke her jaw. How do you like a taste of your own blood? This cartoon don't fuck around, man.
Damn.
Everything is ruined. Said in the last 3 days I've gained 60 subs. It's crazy. See, that's what I love seeing. I love seeing PRW's channel grow because he's raw, he keeps it real, and he's giving the people what they want. That's they want truth more than anything. They don't want you being fake. There's so many talking heads saying the same shit. When you see people like TWRP, PRW speaking that, you're like, okay, they're saying different shit. They're saying shit that's not even the same. Like, even I love how Darth like picked apart Raw. You know, he didn't look at it like,
Yes.
you know, I'm going to shit on it, I'm going to praise it. I'm just going to be middle ground about it. So I love it that our fan base, they don't look at it all through the same scope. You know, they see where we're coming from, but they'll be like, you know what, maybe this was right. Maybe this was right. You know, maybe this was good.
The thing with me though is that like that show should have been spectacular. Like
Yeah.
that it needed to be like ball out of the park, home run, like holy shit, I can't believe, you know, how awesome that show was. And the fact that it was meh, it's not good enough. It's not.
No,
Because they had
it's a show like that. You got to put up or shut up. That was Triple H's opportunity. It's the beginning of the new year.
Well,
you have an opportunity heading into WrestleMania to gain the world's attention and keep it, and he fucking failed that. His only real other chance is the MSG show. He's gonna have to really go hardcore for that and hope that people gain. I know he's gonna really have to hope that people gain some sort of buzz for Royal Rumble too. But even then, I could see the product just gradually declining heading into WrestleMania. Looking at 1.2, 1.3, possibly below 1 million even for Raw. There's some crazy rumors. Some people are saying that it's around that the show number was around 670K. I don't know if it was that bad. You never know, though. Hotman was saying, though, Collision got a 300K decrease, so 345,000 viewers. So the secondary show getting basically the same numbers, even with Rampage gone. There's no difference. None.
Yeah. I mean, it's like this is the problem. Is that like people wonder why WWE's in a hot period? It must be creative. No, it's the fact there's no alternative. Vince is gone, number one, so that brought back a lot of the lapsed fans. And the second thing is that there's no alternative. There's none.
It's the only game in town. Let's be real.
Pretty much.
Because AEW, they fell out of number 2, and I hate to say it, TNA ain't at number 2 yet.
No.
They're trying and they want to be, but the 2 spot is vacant right now. It really is vacant. It's like you have the big time WWE, and then you have all the fucking indies. And that's how it is.
Yep.
McLovin was saying people need to stop hoping for The Rock to have a match with Roman or for Cena to win his 17th WWE title, as both will end up losing to Cody anyway. The only person that's going to beat Cody, I think that has the stroke to beat Cody, is The Rock. That is the only person that if that match happens, Cody will lose. That is the only person. And other than that, every other person, whether it be Roman, John Cena, whoever else you fill in that role to face Cody Rhodes, they're going to lose. I don't see Cody losing that title anytime soon. They're trying to make him into kind of like their Hogan. You know, I hate to say it. He's got the blonde hair. He's got the American gimmick. They're trying to make him into the babyface gay Hulk Hogan. So, you know, they're working it, man. They're working it. But it's having him at the top is just going to continually degrade in ratings. And the fact that they're trying to like really hide the ratings right now, I don't know. They really need to go in a way where they're going to put a draw at the top, but they're not. As long as Triple H is in power, he's a very stubborn man. And he's constantly saying to these network executives, ratings don't matter. Don't worry about those. Why are you worrying about ratings? They're a thing of the past. Look at all these people tuning in on social media. Look at the social media views, you know?
The problem with that is that with Netflix, they're going to go by top 10. They're going to say, okay, well, we're paying an ass load for this show. We want it to be at least in the top 10. And if it repeatedly week after week after week is not in the top 10, that's going to look very, very bad on WWE and on Triple H. You could see pressure. I think you're going to see pressure on Triple H at first. I think he'll do what he normally does when he gets into a bind like this. He'll make up bullshit excuses. It will get to a point where the bullshit excuses will not fly, and you're probably going to see like Brian Gewirtz join WWE's creative team to help boost things on Raw. I think is what you'll see. I don't think you'll see Triple H completely ousted, but you'll see people trying to help him out.
Minimized.
Yeah.
So, so I just got the DM from PRW, and this was from MediaPlayNews.com, and it says, Netflix's first WWE Raw live stream household views down 12% from linear TV. So Netflix's $5 billion excessive foray into live streaming WWE professional wrestling began January 6th with Raw. Viewership reached 664,000 U.S. households during the live presentation, which was down 12% from the 752,000 households that watched the first episode of Raw on the USA Network in 2024, according to new data from Samba TV, which tracks viewership through smart data and ranks streaming programs based on U.S. households' reach. The live stream on Netflix was a draw for Hispanic households, which over-indexed by 21%. All right, so hey, Mexicans love WWE. That's cool. I mean,
we have the data now. I mean that it's. I mean, so what was it? 667,000 or something like that.
It said viewership reached 664,000 U.S. households during the live presentation. That's
Jesus.
That's awful. If that number gets out to these dirt sheet writers and they actually talk about it truthfully and they don't try to mask it, that you can't spin it. You can't spin it when NXT and Raw are getting the same numbers. You know what the fuck?
That was the debut on with all the hype, with The Rock on it, all of that. What's it going to be next week? That's I really want to know what the ratings are going to be next. So, and that's the one thing that I'm going to be watching going forward is it in the top 10?
No.
And how long does it stay there if it is there? And then what the overall live viewership is going to be, because man, I mean, it could tank. It could absolutely fucking tank next week without The Rock, without Undertaker, without being this big giant spectacle.
No, it really could. Well, because like I said, you already look at the booking, and Dakota Kai and Chad Gable. I'm sorry that they aren't the ones who you want to put on the next Raw, because you already know that it's probably going to be 4 or 5 matches. So these guys are going to get 30 to 45 minute matches like everybody else did on the previous show. Even like a short match like Jay and Drew, what was that, like 25 or 30 minutes? It was really fucking long, but it was the shortest match. So it's like, I feel that Triple H is going to do all he can to fill up time with commercials, fill up matches, like long filler matches, and shitty, cheesy segments here and there. That's what I feel.
And the thing too is like Triple H should not be resting on his laurels. Like, he's not as secure as he wants to think that he is. He's really not. They're on cloud 9 right now. They're riding on a high. What happens when they're not riding on a high and they actually have to deliver? You know, or what happens if AEW gets their shit together and starts actually, you know, they bring in, you know, competent writers to know what the fuck they're doing, and they make a lot of changes to that show and appeal to that casual fan base. What happens if they're no longer the only place to go for serious wrestling? Where the fuck, you know, what are they going to do?
I don't see a competitor rising up anytime soon, and that's why Triple H is in full-on jack-off indie book mode, because he doesn't have to be responsible. He can just do whatever he wants, and what my brother's trying to say, too, is that, you know, this whole deal is on borrowed time. It's not going to last forever, and Netflix is well known to cut shows if they underperform. Well known to do that. They've done it before, and you better believe, even with this, 4-year deal with an optional 5, they can cut them. Nobody's talking about that, but they can cut them. They've done it before. They can do it again.
They can absolutely put pressure on WWE to perform better. 100% they can. And I think that's likely to happen based on just how much this debut on Netflix is underperforming, even with all the star power they brought. And like you could assume that, okay, well, next week you're not going to have anywhere near the star power that you had next week.
Yeah.
So it's going to drop significantly. So whatever this is, like, this is the highest it's ever going to be, most likely. What's next week going to look like?
It's going to be garbage. It's not going to be like, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to pull off in this first month.
Same here.
Like, I'm kind of interested for this first month. And I will say one positive is that with Netflix, it was the cleanest wrestling stream I've ever seen for a weekly show. Like, I'm so used to Peacock and their 480p resolution and it glitching out every fucking 30 minutes, and then you got to see the Puss in Boots screensaver. Sorry, technical difficulties, and you got to fucking reboot the app. That stupid shit. Or you're on one of those watch wrestling sites and you're viewing something that's streaming through a Game Boy over in Russia, and you're like, then you have to keep on clicking all these pop-up ads. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole before I get to the fucking video. It's like, geez. Truth was saying, Person of Interest Season 1 is a random review. Person of Interest, that's that crime show, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen any of it, so I would have to check it out before we do a random review. Same thing with my brother. You haven't watched it either, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yeah, we'd have to check it out before we go forward, but I will keep it in memory, and we will come back to you on that. Yeah, I think it's very interesting that they have this medieval theme for it, because usually, like, don't get me wrong, when it comes to RPGs, I steer away from anything medieval. Like, I know people love Skyrim. I think it's okay just because I like older Bethesda, but when it comes to, like, medieval shit, I get, like, bogged down. This is fast-paced, it's exciting. I'm not used to watching a medieval show this action-packed like this. Like, I stayed away from Game of Thrones because I hate that shit. But this has my attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's bloody, it's violent, it's fast-paced. It's not it's not pussified. Like, people have this narrative. There's a lot of anti-SJWs out there that have this narrative that anime is pussified. No, it just depends on what time period you're talking about. And honestly, not all modern anime is pussified.
It really isn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm starting to just get into anime. I'm a noob at this shit. But I did check out was the Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix, and that one was very bloody, very adult orientated, and that's all I really want to see. Is I just want to see adult cartoons, because that's how it was back in the 90s. Is they had cool adult cartoons. They disappeared. They were fading out in 2000, disappeared in 2010s, and they're starting to come back in 2020. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see in the 2020s. I want to see more adult animation, because it's good shit. We need more of that. Everything now is so pussified and kidified. Give something to the adults.
Well, and I think they're realizing that, you know, as Gen Z and millennials are getting older, that we are a demographic that we should be catering to. It's like, why are you catering to children? Like with Cartoon Network, like, that's a perfect example. Like, right. If kids are going to watch cartoons, they're probably going to watch it on YouTube or some streaming service. They're not going to be watching it on linear TV on Cartoon Network. But who might be are the millennials that grew up with it.
Every single little kid I've ever seen watching a show does it on their cell phone, and it's usually on YouTube or on a laptop. Every little kid, they don't watch TV anymore. They just watch it on tablets or their phone or their mom's phone. That's how it goes. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's like, why gear to a dying audience? Especially like a lot of the kids who like that Steven Universe bullshit, a lot of the people who like that, they're such a small minority. You know, it's pretty much, to me, it's DEI cartoons. We don't need that pussified liberal bullshit. We need more man cartoons, more stuff with blood, guts. I mean, just stuff with good writing. I mean, attractive women. You know.
Look at the success of Rick and Morty.
Exactly. It's that easy. It's not rocket scientry. Super Lord X was saying awesome, neutral, and sucks for Austin Theory, Big E, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle. Okay. Austin Theory, neutral. I personally think with Austin Theory, he should have been one of those guys that started out in NXT and worked his way up. I think they made a mistake bringing him to the main roster, because he, like, Vince liked him, but then he got in that trap where, like, Triple H took over and Triple H never liked him. So it's like, he's kind of just stuck in a tag team doing nothing. So definitely neutral. Big E's a neutral too, just because he's with that stable. You know, he's still affiliated with New Day. Maybe if he went to like more of a badass heel and was kicking people's asses, he could be elevated to an awesome, but as of right now, it'd be a neutral. Keith Lee would be probably a neutral or a sucks. I hate to say it, just because he's not what he used to be. He's greatly gone downhill. Stock has gone downhill since he went to AEW, so he'd really need to prove himself again to kind of work up out of that muck. Matt Riddle is a neutral as well. I think he has the ability to move merch. I think he can, you know, I think he's a sufficient enough wrestler. He just needs to get his personal shit down, and he needs to mature more in life. So,
for sure.
Yeah, what do you think, JC?
No, I think I largely agree with the list. Like, for Austin Theory, I'd give him a neutral. So awesome neutral. So yeah, for Austin Theory, I would say I would give him a neutral. Big E, right now, I'd give him a neutral. Keith Lee, I would. I'm either going to give him a neutral or an awesome, because he is a good talent.
He is. It's just the guy. I guess neutral is more fair, just because he needs to get his shit together. He's shown before that as long as he can lose the weight and get himself back together, I think he can be a competitive. He can be a competent mid-carder. I don't think he's going to be anything in the main event. They'll probably show him back in NXT if he's lucky. I hate to say it.
Yeah, well, no, I think that if he comes back to WWE, he's going to debut on the main roster immediately.
It could.
The way, because Triple H, you look at it as like, oh, well, I booked him before on the main roster, and I mean, he's paid his dues. And honestly, I wouldn't mind that, because Keith Lee, he's a big guy, he's got charisma, he does a lot of power moves. I mean, surprisingly athletic for his size. So I'll give him that. Matt Riddle, it depends on where he goes. If he's in TNA, I'd give him an awesome. If he goes anywhere else, I would say he's a neutral.
Well, that's what he is right now. Is he's kind of like that journeyman he's working for TNA, he's working for MLW, he's probably working for NWA. Right now, he's just getting as much money as he can from as many different companies and not locking down to a permanent company. He's probably waiting for WWE to offer him a deal back. Who knows?
They're not.
But Alejandro was saying, C. Jack said Raw had 664,000 views. If that is the truth, that is really, really bad, and it shows that they must have been paying people off at USA to be getting the numbers that they're getting. Like, either that or Netflix is just brutal. I don't know.
The reason, I mean, I think it's just more a matter of, like, with TV, it's more accessible than Netflix because the pay barrier. But then also, like, how many people have been watching Raw on USA for 20 years, 30 years? Like, they've been accustomed to watching it there for the longest time. And so when I think that 1 million people would have watched it regardless what was on. They could have aired a test pattern, and I think they would have gotten 1 million viewers for Raw on USA on Monday. But going over Netflix, it's an entirely new format. It's an entirely different thing where you actually got to pay money in addition to watch Raw. So I just think it's a lot of newness, and I think that even 600 they're gonna massage it and say that it's a decent number considering that it's behind a paywall. But I'm gonna say that it significantly underperformed what it could have been, and you could even point to NXT with The Rock being on it, not even getting 1 million. We're not in a boom period. We're not. We're in a gaslight overhype period. We're in the overhype period is what we're really in.
Well, it's one of those things too where you have to look at the popularity of Jake Paul and Tyson.
Sure.
That got attention immediately, was in the top 10 immediately. And then you got this show. So here we go from a staple of 1.6 to 1.5 regular viewers on a Monday night. And you cut out 1 million of those. Those 1 million people, they just disappear. And then all these nerds were saying, oh, but you have 280 million households, and it's international. Look at all these countries it's in.
Okay,
it's got all it's got all this exposure. So, it should get over 5 to 6 million.
So with that being said, with it being international, now they're going to factor in the U.S. Okay, factor in the U.S. and all the households that Netflix. How much? That's actually something I'm curious about, and I'm going to look it up right now.
That's just the number I heard was 280 million.
Well, I want to see this. So how many households Netflix USA? Okay. All right. So it says Netflix estimates that over 100 million households share passwords, including 30 million in the United States and Canada. Netflix is cracking that. Okay, so this is the AI overview bullshit.
But that was last year that you're reading on.
Okay, so Statista. So here we go. So I'm not. Netflix reported 84.8 million paid streaming subscribers across the United States and Canada in the third quarter of 2024. After a decline in the USA and Canada subscriber. Okay, so 84.8 million paid subscribers across the U.S. and Canada. Subtract Canada. There are about 40 million people. Let's say everyone in Canada subscribed to Netflix. They don't, but let's say that's the truth. Let's say, okay, so 44 million people are subscribed to watch Raw. That could have possibly watched Raw. You couldn't even get 1 million. You barely got 500,000.
People don't understand that wrestling. Tony Khan and Triple H have done a great job in killing its popularity.
Well,
to expect to go immediately on Netflix and just immediately be a hit with all these people, no. It doesn't matter all the celebrities that you bring back. That doesn't fucking matter. What matters is having their investment leading into a show like Netflix. Netflix should have been the promotion that they needed. Instead, they shit the bed. And here's the trip, too. Yeah, you got 44 million people, and less than 1 million people tune in to watch Raw. That tells you right there that all these international households that all these nerds are talking about, 282 million households, do not matter because it's not a world draw like we tried to fucking say. It only matters in US, Canada, and UK, and that's it. And even UK, it wasn't in the top 10.
With that, with everything that we've said so far, we also got to factor in how many people paid for a subscription to Netflix. So that 84.8 million was just in the third quarter of 2024. How many more people tuned in to pay to actually watch Raw on Netflix? So we got to add that number into it as well.
Well, that was an interesting figure too. You saw even the drop in Netflix subscribers. Like, it was 100 million in 2023. It dropped down to 84 million for US and Canada. That's really bad, dude. That shows you that less people are wanting to pay for Netflix, especially after they added the ads. I figured that would happen. After they started ad fucking the shit out of Netflix with that heavy price tag, it's one of the most expensive streaming packages right now, and then they add ads. At least with Amazon Prime, you have more of a selection, and you have better live services. I will say that as far as like live selection and whatnot. But with Netflix, you're a dying brand, you're raising the prices, and you're adding ads. You're asking people to fuck off. You're asking all these hardcore nerds to pirate it. And I bet you anything that a lot of people were pirating this shit. They didn't want to pay for it.
I mean, yeah, I think that's honestly what happened. I think a lot of people were pirating it too. But I mean, the fact that you barely got 500,000 people to tune in to watch it live, when you have over 80 million people that are subscribed to the platform, that's pathetic. That really is. Like,
well, to me, it just shows me that WWE, they were hoping that this Netflix deal was going to be the hype that they needed to get them through to WrestleMania. The problem, like I said before, is going into a deal like this, you have to have hype. Or else you're just going to be something that's a flavor of the month and you're going to disappear. And that's what's going to happen with them, is they'll probably be in the top 10 next week, but they're not going to be number one. And then the next day after, they're going to drop out of the top 10. And the week after that, may not even be in the top 10. Week after that, definitely won't be in the top 10. I see the road that they're going down, and the fact that Netflix regularly updates every single 24 hours their shows and their movies. That's an indictment right there. You don't even need to wait for fucking Brandon Thurston to drop the ratings. You can go and look on Netflix and be like, damn, they ain't in the top 10. Why is this naked dude with white hair fighting this other guy with the sword? What is going on here?
It's anime.
I guess. Anime. Why is everybody like nobody has nipples or dicks? What? I mean, not like I want to see it, but I'm just like I'm kind of thrown off by the fact that everybody's a Ken doll back in the medieval times.
They were all eunuchs.
I guess so. So High Pot was saying, Drew done dirtier than the entire Hart Foundation. They really fucked them, man. And that's why I don't blame Drew for going on Busted Open and being like, why the fuck am I busting my ass for the business anymore? They keep on fucking me over. I'm just going to look out for myself now. I don't blame him, because here you got a guy who could have really benefited from beating CM Punk, going over him in that cage match, and Punk wouldn't even allow that. He could have really benefited from beating Jey Uso on the first Raw. Couldn't even get that. It just, to me, just Punk is such a wasted investment. If he does get a big match heading into WrestleMania, he's going to get hurt before WrestleMania. I guarantee you. He's going to be like hiding some sort of injury, go and wrestling it, just so he can perform at WrestleMania, and then he'll be on the fucking injury list for 6 to 9 months, healing up a fucking torn up knee or elbow or some shit. I just think it's fucked up, especially with Drew. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He proved his worth against CM Punk. Let him have the ball. Let him run with it. I would love to see him just come in the ring, Claymore kick the fuck out of Gunther, and beat him. Win the title. He is a way better choice as the Raw champion than that boring fuck. But Triple H, he is dedicated to pushing his favorites. Pushing no draws like Cody and Gunther. And he will, till the end of fucking time, until he's in office. That's how it is. Mem Garza was saying, Disappointed that Liv won't enter WrestleMania as champion, but I wonder she'll have a WrestleMania moment. I sure hope so. You don't waste a talent like that. I'm sure TKO saw how good of a talent she is. That's the one good thing with all those TKO executives in Hollywood is they got to see who was featured on the card, which ones are the stars and which ones aren't. I think they got to see Jey Uso. Yeah, this guy gets some pops, you know. Liv Morgan, she gets a lot of attention from the crowd. Hulk Hogan, damn, he brings the heat. He gets the booze. You know, so hey, this Cody Rhodes guy, wow, it sounds like piped in chants from the crowd because those people are cheering. Where's this coming from? You know, they're probably like just caught back at how much of a fucking like circus it was. You know, and I think that's what they were doing. They're just going there to have fun, knock back a couple drinks, probably not even talk about wrestling, just business while they fucking knock back drinks and, you know, just chilled. That's how I view it. I don't think they were taking anything seriously. And the fact that Triple H played it super corporate sanitized, there's nothing that they could really complain about. He gave them the show that they wanted.
He gave them the show that they wanted, and they're probably going to have low, like their expectations are going to probably be for the show to be in the top 10. Is what I would imagine. I can't imagine Netflix execs paying all of that money every year for a show that's not even in the top 10 every week. I can't see that. Especially when they're trying to break into live streaming, you kind of need, like, if you're trying to break into live streaming and you have a regular weekly show, it needs to be in the top 10 every week. Now, again, I'm thinking logically. Maybe they're thinking illogically. Maybe it's like, we just live content, whatever. Who cares? We're so flush with cash, it doesn't matter. I don't think I don't think that's what's going on. Simply because they have cut shows before.
Oh yeah, no, they don't care about that. They will cut your shit if it's underperforming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know what? I you know what's gonna happen, right? And like probably around like late 2025, early 2026, it's gonna be Noseman in the rain. It's gonna be pouring at night, and he's gonna be playing the boombox from the street, and then USA is gonna be in the top of the window. Take me back. It's like that scene from Say Anything. Take me back, please. Oh, dude, you know it's going to be that. It's going to be the USA will be the home of wrestling. And they're going to claim, USA is the best. Look, we got SmackDown. We got Raw on there. This is where real wrestling thrives. You know they're going to jack their
honestly,
themselves
like
off.
if I were any of the Anthem executives, the people that own TNA, I would be lobbying hard to USA Network and say, hey, look, you know, there are at least 1 million people that have grown accustomed to watching wrestling on Monday nights on the USA Network. We're a weekly wrestling show. We can produce a weekly wrestling show. We have some former WWE people. Why not give us? Why not give us a deal?
Right. It's people need to make moves at this point. With AEW, especially with Fox dropping any idea of the Shockwave deal, even on Fox Sports, that's really a situation where WWE, they got their pants down. They fucked up with Fox. Fox wants nothing to do with them. AEW fucked up with Fox, wants nothing to do with them. It's pretty much to the point where wrestling is running out of networks that they can shop to. And they're getting to the point where they're like, fuck man, maybe we will have to go on a streaming service just to even survive. I think a lot of these companies, they're doing that. If you're not WWE with USA Network, your time is limited. I think even with AEW and TBS, maybe 3 to 4 years, and that's it. And then they're gone. They're on Fight TV or something else.
Yeah, but the thing with the TNA is that, you know, they don't need a $200 million a year contract from USA. Even a $100 million a year deal would be a fucking win. It would, honestly.
It'd be something, you know, just anything at this point. Just because I don't see this Netflix deal lasting. This is very much a honeymoon phase right now. They're going to let him get his shitty shows in, probably a month or two of just underperforming bullshit shows, and then they'll probably raise the heat hitting in WrestleMania of what they want from him. They'll still let him book his shit, but they'll be like more like, okay, we're bringing in Gowertz. Okay, we need to change these champions around. We need to do some shuffling. Need to get some talents in and out. We need to fire this guy, bring this guy back. You know, you're gonna see some more moves like that heading into Mania. I think it's very much going to be Triple H trying to go for his homogenized, boring card, but you're going to see TKO try to make a couple big moves to gain some interest back. They have to at this point. You got to protect your investment. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, like right now for them, they're on cloud 9. Like they're making great deals left and right. Nick Khan is a big part of that, and Triple H is just there to take all the like. I hate when you have people like Glenn Gilberti and Conan say, oh well, look at WWE's on fire, but then also not mention how lackluster the creative is and how this may not be creative. That what it may be is just there's nowhere else for these fans to go. Like
I'm waiting for Conan to just say to Glenn, he's like, bro, look at it this way. They're the only game in town, and we get views when we don't shit on WWE, so let's keep on doing it.
Exactly.
That's how it is. But whatever, I mean, I look at it like, why not cover WWE and critique it? Why not? If anything, you're giving people content on modern wrestlers. You're talking about the most popular brand in town. Why not do it that way? Why not be truthful about it? Why fear any sort of backlash? Don't give a shit. As long as you still keep on covering it, they're gonna be interested in what you have to say. That's what matters.
Oh, for sure. And like you just be real about it. And like I think they think that there's money in kayfabing, how you really feel about it.
Ugh, gross. Can't. McLovin was saying impression VKM caught by NXT divas for peeping on them. Hey, Cora! Hey, Cora, pass me that towel. Yeah. Oh, you like the way I rub myself down, Cora? Oh, yeah. Hey, why don't you bring that soap up here? Yeah, soap up my butt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, watch the sun drip down my ass crack.
Do it. Yes.
It's so hot. Oh, which punk was here to wash us down? Oh, yeah. Hey, you hear something?
Wash those titties. Yeah.
Who's here? Who is that?
Nobody's here. There's no one in this room.
Oh, it's Vincent McMahon! I'm a caution!
Keep touching her titties.
Alondra was saying people think Travis Scott smoking weed on TV was edgy. I watched Vince blow up in flames in his car when I was 11. Bingo.
Right.
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, it's not a big fucking like, Sandman was cracking beers over his head back in 96 and smoking cigarettes. Who gives a shit? Like, who fucking, like Travis, like this midget is doing anything fucking brand new. No, he's not. I mean, even then, people have smoked weed in wrestling shows before. I mean, hell, during JCW, the whole crowd was filled with weed smoke. It's not a brand new thing to wrestling. It's not edgy.
Shit.
It's not cool.
We literally, back in October, we were talking about what's it, James Mitchell's blowing coke at that Sam Hain show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and yeah, that's the thing, too, is like to do it on TV is one thing. If you're doing it on a stream, whatever, fuck it. But it's like, if to be on national TV and doing that shit, especially with this kiddie PG show shit going on, I think that was a bad fit. I think it was just basically they were happy that Travis Scott was there because of his celebrity status, and they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. That's the feeling I got.
Nah, but it was like honest, and that's honestly one of the few cool things, air quote, cool things that happened on that show.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's sad. It really is.
War Metal said Bronson Reed thinks he's the shit. He's nothing compared to big men like Vader, Bigelow, or even One Man Gang. They would turn him into a trampoline. You're absolutely right, War Metal. And that's the one thing that we can't stand about Bronson Reed is he's just, for us, he's too short and fat to be taken seriously. And that's the thing. Right. He doesn't seem like the type of guy, like the names you mentioned, that like beat ass on the indies or beat ass over in Japan. He just seems like just some fat neck beard that put on tights and decided to start pro wrestling. And the fact that he calls himself a thick boy, it's like, dude, I can't take you seriously as a monster if you're doing that shit. Like, him and Braun Strowman are some of the most feminized, quote-unquote, big men right now in pro wrestling. And the fact they had him feud, it was the battle of the big gay fucks at that point. So it was hard for me to get invested in that feud or anybody involved in that feud because they're both ruined. But yeah, Bronson Reed, he's just... To make out like he's some colossus, like he's Godzilla, and Drew Gulak is bigger than him.
He's the next Bam Bam Bigelow.
What the dude? That is so. Vader would fucking pick up that little potato and make him into potato chips. He would slam him through the fucking mat. You imagine what Bam Bam Bigelow would do? He would He would take that chunky butterball and toss him into the fifth row like Spike Dudley. Okay, that's the thing about Bronson Reed too, is he's not even that fucking strong. He fights cruiserweights for the most part. When he fought Bronson Reed, it's not like he was, or when he fought Braun Strowman, it's not like he was slamming him around the ring. Braun was doing most of the work. I don't know. I don't look at him as a powerhouse. I don't look at him as a badass. I don't look at him as a future of the company. I look at him as the type of guy, if Vince were booking, he'd make him a fucking jobber. He would make him the nice Bastion Booger if Vince had his way. If we had our way, we'd make him the next Bastion Booger, you know? He's a fat waste of a fucking talent. And that's the thing, too, is I've seen fat guys that were badasses before. This guy, he's not a badass. He's not quick. He's not agile. He doesn't do anything really crazy in the ring. It just slams and strong style shit. Who cares?
Right. It's so lame. It honestly is just the overhype this fucker gets.
Right. So Everything Is Ruined was saying, that's why I opened on live stream that night with Lisa and Top Dog, because I had to call out the crap that was Raw debut. Glad people enjoyed the trio. And that's cool. I love it, the fact that you're bringing people into the community. You know, Lisa, she gets the spotlight. Top Dog, he gets the spotlight. I think that's a great thing, man. I like seeing them when the community comes together like that. Very cool. War Metal was saying, these sissies boo Hogan, but they're the same people who support the celebrities on Diddy's list, and they don't know how worse they are than Hogan. And here was the biggest trip. Like, Society Reviews was trying to raise some facts to people. He was trying to tell people, you know what, okay, you're going after Hogan for being a racist when Travis Scott was basically allowing 10 people to get trampled at his concert and getting off on it. So here you are saying Travis Scott, oh, he's cool for smoking weed, what a cool guy. Yet Hogan's the bad guy because he got caught on tape saying a bad word. And these motherfuckers were like, he had nothing to do with those deaths. He was actively ushering them on. There's video footage of him waving his hands like, yeah, loving the fact that people were getting trampled, knowing that people were getting trampled, and ushering for more people to get trampled with his hands, like, bring it on. So, for him to take part in something like that, and for them to stick up for it, and then yet admonish Hulk Hogan, this is what the liberal wrestling sphere is like. This is why we always make connections to liberals and pro wrestling. Is because they have infested modern day pro wrestling. Back in the day, when the rednecks were viewing it, when casuals were viewing it, it was very conservative. Times have changed. When you go smaller time, you go usually with lower IQ, and that's what they did. They went with the lowest IQ they possibly get, and these brain dead, infant brain, retard liberal fans that we have right now. These SpongeBob brains. Raised on SpongeBob, and they got the same type of sense of humor and mentality. They remind me of all, like, a bunch of, like, SpongeBob SquarePants wearing wrestling t-shirts. They're so annoying. They're retarded. The shit they say is never funny. I just want to punch them in the fucking face.
Same here. I'm politically in the war of ideas, or maybe a little bit more than that. But, you know, like, honestly, the way the reason why they don't go after Travis Scott but they go after Hulk Hogan is because it's
skin color too.
Skin color too. You can't virtue signal, like, attacking Travis Scott for what he did, but you can if you're going to attack Hulk Hogan. Like, for them, it's all about vain fucking virtue signaling.
Straw man
None of them are
bullshit.
genuine. Yeah, none of them are genuine. None of them actually give a fuck. They don't care.
Oh. No, they don't. Well, because for them, what it is one of those things where it's like, hey, I earn cookie points with my community. They like my post and give me a retweet. They think I'm cool. It's all a fit-in contest online. Like, look, hey, I'm agreeing with you. I'm retweeting you and liking me. Like me, I quote tweeted you and said some shit about Hogan needs to die or some stupid shit like that. That's how it is with these nerds. They're insane. The Truth was saying, what's bigger, Godzilla and King Kong or Noseman's ego? Noseman's ego is immense. Noseman's ego is like the size of the moon. It's huge. It's huge. And that's why, like, you could tell, like with some things that we've said to CM Punk, there's been some self-reflection for him. With Triple H, he is so incredibly stubborn and dug in. He looks, I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm head of WWE. These YouTube nerds, who the fuck do they think they are? You know, it's very much an issue where we're just YouTubers. He's the king of WWE. You know, yeah. But I think for some of these wrestlers, they take it to heart because they realize that their time in the ring is short. You got to make the most of it. You don't have a position of power. Unless you're locked in like Shawn Michaels or Triple H, you don't have that cushy position of power to fall back upon once you get injured to the point you can't wrestle anymore, or once you eventually have to hang up the boots. You got to have that fallback. You can't be just some guy getting paid off of wrestling dues at a wrestling school, barely making ends meet. No, that's the rough lifestyle. You want the cushy one. So a lot of these guys, they try to get that agent spot, that booker spot, that commentary spot, any type of spot they can, just to stay somewhat relevant and make a paycheck. Look at Big E. I mean, he's still doing the commentary gigs on the side just to even make a paycheck and stay relevant. So it's like, it's what happens in Triple H world. I hate to say it. So far, not a bad show for an anime. It's pretty entertaining.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's good shit. So VHS was saying, random aside, I think anime shows like Berserk 97 because reviewing good ones got myself 5 followers, close to 3K on X. That's crazy too. Watching VHS go from like 500 to 3K in like a year.
I know, dude.
Awesome. Well, this is because he hustles, man. He works hard, and that's how it is. Like even with PRW, you want to get those viewers, you gotta hustle. You gotta put out the posts. You gotta put out the videos. You gotta be frequent. And as long as you're frequent and you keep on giving them what they want, you'll see your riser count gain. You'll see your popularity gain, and that's what it's all about, man. Just consistency and work ethic. So that's what do it. And yeah, he's got some good reviews. Got a great. War Metal was saying 664K households watch Raw. What a big boom. If that is the legit number, that is just, it's awful. What I'm interested, though, is I'm wondering how much of that was international and how much of that was United States. I'm wondering, out of that final total, if that is the final total of international, every single household worldwide, how much of that was U.S.? That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, even if the that 80 million number is true, that's not good at all.
No, it's not. Well, that's the thing too. Is like it's 80 million or 83 million
households,
and that was down 17.
In America.
That was down 17 million from the previous year. So how much are they going to drop by next year? People are figuring out about great shit like Tubi and Freevee and being like, fuck y'all. Because I tell you, dude, I'm addicted to Tubi. I'm fucking addicted.
It's
like
awesome.
That is my favorite streaming service. It's either Tubi or Freevee. I go back and forth between both of them. But those are awesome. They're free. They have a lot of shit. Whatever you want to watch, they pretty much got it. And that's a great thing, too, especially with their connections. You know, with Fox, you get a lot of good stuff. You get an NBC and all these top cable companies, you get a lot of good stuff just with ads. It's worth it, honestly, to just download it for free. Fuck it. You're not missing anything. So definitely check that out. So JT was letting us know about the show. He said the long-haired guy is Griffith. He's a guy. Okay. I couldn't tell if it was a girl. To me, Triple H is the Griffith of wrestling. Both of them would put their close ones for power. They're both pretty feminine. Yeah, I could say. Yeah, so I can see the comparison. Well, and you gotta worry too. Think about this too, JC. The Rock... He played Mr. Corporate Babyface right after buying a large number of TKO stocks. So it really makes you wonder what is up his sleeve and what he's working on. Is he working on getting back into WWE and getting that match with Cody? Personally, I think that's the way they should go. If you're gonna go anywhere, swerve the fans and get them to believe that Cody and Rock are cool. Rock turns on Cody at Royal Rumble. Maybe even comes in number 30 at the Royal Rumble, takes out John Cena, gets a shot against Cody.
Honestly, I think what they're going to do is, I just think they're going to go with the Rock and Roman. Like they're going to say, okay, well, a lot of people wanted this match. Well, we're finally going to give it to you at WrestleMania 41. We had to do this detour with Cody. That's where I think they're going to go. I hope I'm wrong on that, and I hope they actually, because no one, I don't know of many people that care to see that match.
Well, at least with Rock and Cody, you have the heavy probability of Cody losing the title. And heat, exactly. You have heat, and you have the heavy probability of Cody losing the title. It's more than 50%. Because that's the thing, is if anybody can overrule Triple H, it's The Rock. And he can say, fuck you. No, I want to win the title. I'm going over. We need ratings for Netflix right now. This is part of my company now. I bought a lot into this. I'm going to protect my investment. And if I got to win the title myself and carry this company myself, I'll do it. And I could see Rock being that type of guy.
No, I definitely think that. I mean, no. I think that Rock could be that kind of guy too, for sure. But it's just just with like him doing the stare down with Roman. And it's in WrestleMania season. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. I hope not. I really do.
Yeah. Well, more than anything, it sucks that Roman's out of the picture, but at the same time, I think that whatever. If you want to do Roman and Solo and just have Roman just beat the shit out of him, whatever. I'm not so much concerned about Roman getting back the title. I would rather see Rock beat Cody for the championship since they're not going to put it on anybody else. If this is the only plan B we got, get the fucking title off Cody by any means necessary.
Please.
If this is the only way that he can lose the title because he won't job to anybody fucking else and he's going to Hulk Hogan that shit, let the one guy who has more power than him beat him for the fucking title. I'm at this point where even if we have to take plan B of Rock and Cody, it's worth it simply just to get the fucking title off of him. And even then, we can build up for a SummerSlam feud for Roman and Rock. You have something to look forward to coming out of Mania. This is how they should build it heading into something like that. But I don't know. We have common sense. Triple H doesn't, so we'll see what happens.
The problem is, like, where's the heat, though? So it's like, if you're going to do this match, there's got to be heat there. And the problem with the two is that The Rock is still dressing like heel Rock.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too, is he came out, you're right, wearing the same vest, pretty much. You know, same glasses, looked a lot like the final boss, and we thought we were going to get the final boss. Instead, we got nice guy Dwayne. Way it is.
Yeah.
So Truth was saying, I'm working on learning prayer in Aramaic. That's pretty cool, man. That's an interesting language to learn. Like I said, I'd love to learn it. So, yeah, more props to you, man. That's a cool language to learn. Hotman was saying, here's a storyline. The Rock inserts himself to win the Royal Rumble, and The Rock cuts a promo stating that Noseman went into business for himself, so I'm going to get my payback. I'd love to see that. I really hope. I kind of like what I was saying earlier, Hotman. I really hope that happens. That he's like, you know what, Triple H, you're fucking the company up. I'm taking the ball now. It's now in my hands. And if he's got to do it, even holding the title, so be it. I'm down with it. And if anything, it makes him a killer heel with these fucking nerds. They'll hate the fuck out of him if they know that he has that much power and won the title from Cody. It will be nuclear heat to really build up to, and I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to crescendo. He's trying to swerve everybody right now and then build up on that massive heat coming out of Mania. Who knows? And then Roman could be the good guy and get fans to cheer for Roman. I think at this point, Rock's a selfless enough guy where he's like, you know what, I won the title, I'll play the monster heel against anybody you need to. You need me to lose it to Roman, have him play the babyface, so be it.
No, I totally agree. I think that is something that they could do to get a lot of interest. But yeah, I just with where it looks like they're going, man.
Yeah, it's hard to get interested. But High Pot was saying first Monday Night Impact over first Raw on Netflix. True. You know what? And that's the thing too, is TNA at one time used to get numbers. It used to get over 2K or over 2 million when it had Hogan, Dixie, and Vince Russo all working together. They were doing decent at one time. That's proof that Hogan's a draw. I don't blame Netflix for doing that, for bringing Hogan in, but it's the wrong location. California, especially LA, was terrible. And here's the trip, JC. Here's the trip.
What's up?
How much of an omen is it that upscale LA boos the shit out of Hulk Hogan, and the next day after they get fire? All this fire breaks out in the Palisades. How fucking crazy is that?
With that being said, our thoughts and prayers, our hearts go out to the people dealing with the wildfires there.
Yeah, no, we've been through the wildfires before, man.
Yeah,
it gets to the point where you can't escape the smell of smoke. That just charred tree smell.
Yeah.
And you'll be driving
sky.
and the orange sky. It's just like literally just like this bright orange sky, thick air. You have to pretty much use your AC. You can't crack your windows at all. So it was a very awful time to go through. So yeah, our hearts.
JT, that you're fine. That he's doing fine in LA.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, hearts and prayers go out to people living in LA. So MM Garza was saying, I ain't watching Rumble because I know who's going to win. Charlotte, Becky again, or Io Sky. Oh yeah, it's too damn predictable. And that's why me personally, I'm not too invested on the main roster women right now. Because Triple H has a lot of his favorites at the top. And really the only one that I like has a title, Tiffany. So what investment would I have watching the Royal Rumble? They're just going to bring in a bunch of boring NXT girls that aren't going to get over. People like Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter will have shots in the Royal Rumble. You're not going to bring back Lita. You're not going to bring back Trish. None of the cool shit you hope to happen is going to happen. You'll barely be lucky to have any cool shit happen in the guys' Royal Rumble. The women's Royal Rumble has always been a fucking waste of time, and that's what it's going to be again this year, guaranteed.
Yeah, more than likely. I just want to say, where I'm at in Southern California, no, we're not dealing with any wildfires. We're nowhere near, we're nowhere near where the wildfires are. So I'm fine. My brother's fine.
All is well.
Yeah, all is well. So, I mean, and, hopefully the wildfires will put out like that and, they can repair and from the damage caused by it. But yeah, hearts and prayers go out to them. But yeah, I mean, booing Hulk Hogan in Hollywood. Then it gets lit on fire. Just saying,
Is there a coincidence? Bullseye was saying, speaking of adult, remember the prompt I sent you? I don't even think Netflix would take being how offensive I can be. Oh, no. There's no doubt about it. They would steer away from Bullseye, PRW, us, anybody who is actually truthful, and even if you sugarcoat it. I even think that they probably were looking at JD and Solomonster's review and why didn't they put us over? What the fuck? I think Triple H was kind of like, dude, I expected more people to be sucking my dick. What's going on here? So, and even Netflix, Netflix is very corporatized and sanitary. You see their DEI shows. I mean, this is the home place of cuties, and it seems like, honestly, the only way you can get away with a really good adult show is if you already have a built-in fan base, like Stranger Things, like Cobra Kai, like Squid Games. You have to have that built-in fan base. With WWE, that fan base is rapidly draining, and even then, they've kiddified it, and they've buckled down. Everybody, Nick Khan, Triple H, even CM Punk has said, we're going to keep it PG. It's going to stay like it is. And we're not going to cuss. We don't need to cuss. And even if we do cuss, we're going to bleep it out. I don't understand the point of bleeping it out when you're on a live streaming show. At least they're not bleeping out the chants, But if a wrestler does cuss, yeah, they are bleeping it out. I think that's silly still, though.
Yeah, it is.
The last time we watched a modern day cartoon is right now. Right now, bro.
Good point. Good point.
I guess would this be modern day since it's 97? Let's think of a modern Rick and Morty.
Not modern day, yeah.
Rick and Morty,
would be modern day, yeah.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. No doubt. Superlord was saying if it was up to Smarks, we would be getting Isla Dragunov versus Drew Gulak in the main event of WrestleMania in a 40-minute slow, boring match. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say, Superlord, is if that Raw on Netflix had just swapped out Roman and Solo Sikoa for Johnny and Andrade, they would have been best opening match on a Raw in Raw history. Who cares about the ratings? Look what they gave us. They're feeding us. Papa H is cooking and feeding us bangers. That's what they would have fucking said. Guaranteed. It's just interchange the talents in the long, boring match. That's all it takes. So JT was saying the naked silver... Okay, yeah. We saw that, JT.
Remember, the armory is our objective. And watch yourselves breaking through the middle gate.
Okay, the main character is Guts. Okay, I'm getting familiar with it. So Guts and Griffith. Okay. I see Netflix opting out of this deal if it doesn't improve within 2 years. I think they'll give them a full year, 6 to 12, to kind of grace, and then after that, you're going to start to see some changes. If the changes implemented, like a word stepping in, for example, do not work, and he's not able to change that ship around, I think that I can see them lasting 2 to 3 years and then getting cut. What do you think, JC?
No, I definitely think that could happen. They're going to be looking for benchmarks, like how many live viewers are watching for what they're paying. I mean, granted, it's nowhere near what they're paying for the NFL. Oh, but we're talking about the NFL. I think they still have expectations. It's like SmackDown on USA. It's like if it hits 200,000 viewers, if you ever see a SmackDown episode on USA get 200,000 viewers, I promise you, creative changes are coming to SmackDown, big time. Yeah. I think the same thing is true with Netflix, is that they have expectations. What I'm curious about is what live viewership are they looking for? and like does it need to be in the top 10 every week? I think that is what's really going to matter for Netflix going forward. Now, I could be wrong about that. They may have no expectations. They may not care. They may be like, it's just, it's more live content for our network. But I still think that they're going to have standards going forward. So, like I'm thinking that if Netflix ever hits under 100,000 live viewers, that's going to be a fucking red alarm moment for WWE with Netflix.
Well, yeah, because I know they're looking at it like, oh, well, shit, you have to look at the fact that it's under a paywall and you're getting this many subscribers that are subscribing and they're bringing in this amount of revenue for the company, and for Netflix. So this is actually a good thing if you do the multiplication. All this other stupid fucking bullshit they're going to say, oh, it beats free viewers, all this other fucking stupid shit. What you're going to see is diminishing returns like you see on cable. If the home of WWE and USA Network is getting diminishing returns, you better believe Netflix is going to get diminishing returns. We could be looking at collision numbers next week. Who knows?
Well, and yeah, I think that there's definitely, like, they're going to try to spin the narrative, oh, well, yeah, this is behind a paywall, and this is much, much more impressive because, Raw for the past 30 years was not behind a paywall, and now it is, and the fact that you're having 600,000 people tune in to watch it, of paid subscribers, is impressive. My argument against that is not a standard episode of Raw. That was the debut loaded with as much star power as they could possibly find or possibly get to agree to show up, and you only pull in 600,000. It's going to be significantly down from here on going forward.
Yeah, it's just a dumb idea, man. War Metal was saying New Jack makes Travis Scott look like a sissy. I agree, because New Jack, he brought it in a time where there was already a lot of aggressive testosterone-fueled guys. He became the Black Stone Cold of ECW in other ways. So to stand out like that in ECW during its prime, he was a badass, and he's still a badass. But Travis Scott, this is the type of guy, he definitely was part of some P. Diddy parties. He definitely got inducted, so to speak. To be that popular in rap, you had to do some dirty things behind the scenes, and Travis definitely seems like that type of guy.
No, for sure. So, real quick, I want to go ahead and read an article from a site called the SI or Sports Illustrated. It says the article is Netflix reveals what viewership success looks like for Raw. So it's got a quote here from what's his name? With an interview from The Athletic, Netflix VP of Unscripted and Documentary Series Brendan Reich spoke about going into business WWE, and the measurement for rating success will be the same as it is for any other piece of content that runs on the platform. Here's what he has to say. At its core, it's no different to any other entertainment program, Reich said. It's a case of saying, what does it cost, and then what's the return on the investment in terms of how many people are watching it and their level of engagement. It's no different to a dating show, Love is Blind, dramas, or Stranger Things. We look at it through the same lens. WWE, and then, that goes on to that. So what they're probably going to be looking for, and this is all a guess on my part, but they're probably going to be looking for, with the amount they're paying for and the fact that they're saying they're comparing it to every other show and they're not carving out like a special exemption for them, they're going to be wanting it to be in the top 10 every week. And if it's not, that's not going to be good for Triple H running Raw. I do think that rather than Triple H getting ousted at first, they're probably going to bring in Brian Gewirtz to work alongside with him and make a big deal about Brian. Like, you're going to hear TKO make a big deal about Brian Gewirtz. Oh, he worked at WWE in the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. He's going to know how to bring the ratings up. Triple H needs to realize that, that it's like, Stephanie bragging about, being in top, Raw surpassing Squid Games.
Yeah.
It's like what we said earlier in the show. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You want to make a big deal about, we're in the top 10. Okay, well, what happens when you're not in the top 10 consistently? When you're standard Raw without The Rock on every week, and he's not going to be able to be on every week, what if it's not in the top 10? What if it's consistently not in the top 10, and it's consistently has under 100,000 live viewers? You're going to see changes come to Netflix, or come to Raw and Netflix.
Oh, yeah. So, Garza was saying when the WWE spinner belt was around, imagine Undertaker winning that title and wearing it at his entrance. He would look like such a goofy bastard. It did not make sense for Undertaker. For John Cena, he was goofy, he was colorful, he's for the kids. It was a good merch opportunity. It made sense for John Cena. Like, even back in his rap days, made sense. Went to his kiddie days, made sense. That title is it's perfect for goofballs like John Cena. Never fit CM Punk. I never liked Punk when he had it. That was weird. Even when RVD had it. So it should, to me, it's like the Smoking Skull title. It's a specialty belt. It shouldn't have been passed around.
Yeah. I mean, that title was for John Cena.
Right.
The smoking title was for Stone Cold.
Hell yeah. So, PRW was saying, I try to feature people who are real and tell the truth. I'll bring on anyone who wants that opportunity. And that's cool, man. I like that. So, guys, you're seeing it right here. You want to hit up PRW, you can go ahead and get a hold of him. You know, get a hold of him in his comments on Twitter. Let him know. Let him know you want to be a part of the show. You want to voice your opinion. This is something I want to see more of. I want to see more people in our community, you know, getting together, voicing their opinion, letting it be known. Because the more of our voices that are talking about this and raising awareness, the better. You know, because it's at the point, PRW, he's gaining a big reputation right now on YouTube, building subs, getting his voice out there. Lisa Green, people know her for her crazy takes on Twitter, her real crazy, like good crazy takes, not bad crazy, good crazy takes. I'm talking about the nerds, they think she's crazy, but I think she's great. My brother thinks she's great, so
that's right.
He's bringing her in. Top dog, I worked with him before on VOP, always keeps it real. So yeah, this is what I like seeing. More of the community getting together and speaking their minds. Good shit.
No, it is. It's like we need more and more people speaking the truth about what's really going on in wrestling and society too.
Yeah. And Darth, this is, I completely understand how you feel. And this is how it is a lot of times on when I'm replying to comments on Misk or whatever. And I see people like that just want to come and argue. I just go, okay, you know, that's your opinion, and I leave it at that. There's not any need to, you know, say I'm right, you're wrong. You know, it's pointless. It's really pointless, and that's why, you know, it's a very mature take to take. You know, especially at 25, to just be like, you know what, I don't feel the need to enamor you, to feed your ego and let you think, oh, you're right, I'm wrong. No, I didn't even engage. So I don't blame you for doing that, man, because that's everybody on Twitter wants to fight. Everybody, bro.
And honestly, Darth, that's how you win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
Take the higher road. Fuck him.
Wow, I did Freebie shutting down? Damn. How the fuck is Pluto's shitty ass still around and Freebie shutting down? Is Amazon making cutbacks? Is that why? Damn, man, that's rough. That's rough.
Oh, yeah, they are.
You know, me personally, I got to rant real quick. JC, have you ever seen any Rob Zombie movies?
No.
Okay, so the one that I thought was watchable was House of a Thousand Corpses. That one was okay. I decided to try out Devil's Rejects. Fucking hated it. Decided to check out Halloween. Hated it. Checked out 31. Hated it. I tried to check out anything that Rob Zombie did, like just to see if he put out a good movie. It's all literally the same dialogue, just like retarded, hateful rednecks just cussing and saying this like the weirdest crap they can possibly say, and it's just like all of his characters. You don't care if they die. You're like, you know what? I hope that guy dies. I even hope Michael Myers dies. You know, because like everybody, especially in Halloween, right from the get go. They had Michael Forsythe. You know, he's a great actor. I love the shit that he's been in, but he played this just like pissed off, retarded redneck with a cut off hand. And every single movie has to have Sherry Moon Zombie in it. Every single damn Rob Zombie movie. I gotta have my wife in the movie. And so, yeah, she's there and she plays like some stripper. And then like the kid, Michael Myers, he's like horribly abused, wears a mask around, cuts up rats in his bedroom. And then, the father talks shit to him and says, why you always wearing that fucking mask around? And then the daughter comes out, she's all dressed in hoe clothing. Kid goes to school, he gets fucking bullied by these kids, and they're like, yeah, I heard your sister swallowed so much cum in the bathroom that she had to get her stomach pumped. And oh, look, I found a flyer of your mom, and she's a stripper at a club. You want me to put it all over the school? And at that point, I'm just like, did you really need to go that far to make me feel sympathy for Michael Myers? A cold-hearted serial killer? Come on.
I know.
It was ridiculous.
I feel like, he's just deliberately trying to go over the top of it. And I get, like, Rob Zombie being who he is and why he would want to do that, but come on, man, really?
He's garbage. Like, I'm sorry, Rob Zombie movies are garbage. Like, I hate to say it, I watched the Stone Cold movie the other day that was like actually pretty decent. It was called Recoil. So it was Stone Cold and Danny Trejo in there, and it was a cool movie. It was just about Stone Cold. His family got killed, so he wanted revenge.
So I have some good news.
What is it?
So Freevee, yes, is shutting down, but what they're doing is they're consolidating it into Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch all the content that's on Freevee now, you'll be able to watch it for free on Amazon Prime. You just got to watch an ad.
All right, that works. I mean, it makes more sense, I guess, if you're, to have it all in-house. So, okay, that works. Retro was saying, I know it didn't happen, but Brock versus Rock 2 would have been box office. And to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen as Mania. I'm so confused, LOL. And honestly, that's what would be... I think Netflix. I think they honestly wanted Brock for the debut, but this big, looming, long, drawn-out, dragged-out piece of shit fucking case with Vince is taking forever, and it's keeping people like John Laurinaitis from doing anything, Vince from doing anything, and the most importantly, Brock from doing anything. It's tying everybody up in court, not letting them actually help out the company, not like Vince would. He's fucking done with wrestling. But Brock, there's that possibility. They offer him the big payday. He's always been a prize fighter. You offer him up the millions, he'll come back and destroy anybody you want. He'll feud with anybody you want, he'll make them look good. He tried his best to make Cody look good. He even rammed his fucking head into a guardrail just to make it look like Cody goosed him. This is the dedication of this guy.
Well, yeah, no, Brock is heavily dedicated. But honestly, I think watching Netflix now, things could change. Things are always subject to change with WWE Creative, but I think looking at where they want things to go and where they're setting things up, I think it's crystal clear to me where they want to take things if they had their way. Now, things could change. Creative could always change, but I think what they want is Rock versus Roman. I think they want Cody versus Cena. I think they want Lyra Valkyria. They're going to have her win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Rhea Ripley. I think you're going to have Charlotte challenge Tiffany Stratton. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins will probably main event Mania. Yeah, I think that's your WrestleMania 41 card.
It's for the most part. It's going to be a shitty card, dude. I mean, we'll be there to suffer through it, but I guarantee you, it's not going to be anything that's going to bring in any viewers. No. So, Alejandro was saying, if Brock is at WrestleMania, any dream matches, if he can show up in time, like let's say a miracle happens and all this shit is done before Royal Rumble, or be done before, just with enough time to set up Brock being brought back, at least a month and a half. I would like to see, I want to see him get his comeuppance against Cody. I think he got fucked over against Cody. I'd love to see him come back like a raging bull and just Kofi Cody, honestly. 9 seconds, win the title. I'd love to see that. That pissed many people off, too.
Oh, no, it would piss a lot of people off, too, but it also gives you a credible champion.
Right. No, Brock, back in the company as top guy on Raw, you're immediately going to get heel heat for him. You got your top heel. You don't even need Rock at that point if you have Brock back. That is your monster heel that you need. He's the only one really that's, I think, can fit the role. I mean, because even with all these part-timers, like, we want Stone Cold to come back. Can he go? Brock, we know, can still go. This is the type of guy, he'll be in his 50s, and I think he can still go, just because he's a genetic freak.
Yeah. I think Brock, with how athletic he is and how athletically gifted he is, I do think that Brock could probably go into his 50s. But, which is why I think they just need to use him while they can. Use him now. There's rumors, too, that he got paid $14 million to sit at home and do nothing for 2024. That's the rumor going around. If that's the case, TKO needs to be like, we got to do something about this. I hope they don't cut him. I really hope they keep him around and utilize him. You got him under contract. Put him to work. I mean, definitely put him to work, especially with him being a UFC champion and a WWE champion. I mean, like, this is a guy that can represent both companies. And since both companies are now unified, who better? Who better to represent the TKO than Brock?
You really want to piss off the nerds? I say bring back Brock as champion. Have him squash Cody. Bring back Hogan in a top heel role. Re-sign Ronda Rousey.
Oh my God.
Go nuclear. Do everything you can to piss them the fuck off. Have Rock come back. feud with Roman or some shit. I don't know. Just at this point, do everything you can to piss them off with this deal.
So with the women's match, you know what it should be?
What's up?
Ronda Rousey versus Ava Marie.
Okay. Hey, she's divorcing her husband. She's got more free time on her hands. Bring her back to the ring. Ava Marie, Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. I love it. And you know what? Have like the Bella Twins as timekeeper and referee or some shit. You know, just
God.
You know, just really piss off these fucking nerds.
Or have the Bella Twins be a tag team. Have them go up against who's a beloved female tag team that the Sparks like.
Oh, they really like Isla and they like Alpha Fire. They like those
the
two.
Titles.
Okay. Yes. Or bring back the Iconics. Hell, fuck it. I think the Iconics are a pretty good re-sign. I'd re-sign them, have them win the tag titles.
They're a good re-sign, but the Smarks kind of like them because they were in NXT.
Do they like them? Oh,
a little
shit.
bit.
Never mind.
They got their fan base.
Never mind. If they like them, forget about it.
But I mean, bring them back because they're attractive and they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Alejandro said, did you all see TK's facial expressions at his press conference? We played a video. There's this one nerd who was stumbling through a question for like a fucking minute, and you could just see Tony. He's like, oh, ooh, ah, ee, ooh, You could just see, like, it was like 20 different facial expressions in under a minute. And he's just like, oh, well, thank you so much for the question. He's always so happy. Always so nice.
I mean, the Coke balloon was dissolving in his colon, and he's like, oh.
It's just wearing right through. Everything as Rhodes said. Do you think Joel's character from The Last of Us could be a compelling character in WWE? Father who lost his daughter and has turned into a monster. It could work on. The whole thing about it is I think that you would have to bring it into pro wrestling context. So it would have to be somebody that like maybe was driving in a car like a wrestler, and I don't know, kayfabe took out his daughter. I think if it were a realistic situation, it might be pushing the lines. But if it's a kayfabe daughter that got, like, let's say, taken out, put in a hospital, even if you want to kill them, that's a little bit too far from modern day WWE. So let's say hospitalize this daughter. You have the guy looking for revenge on the guy who hit him or hit the daughter. I think that's something you can work with. Yeah, I even then though I don't have faith in Triple H being able to pull that off. So
no, I mean, like, who would you have be the daughter? Like Roxanne Perez or someone?
Yeah, that way nobody cares if you hit her with the car. It's like fucking. Thoughts on Chris Bay? I hope he heals. I really hope he heals and gets back to the ring, man. That's a rough thing that he's going through. Junior was saying nothing's going to change. Triple H is out here giving talents 5-year deals. Rollins, Gabe, Finn, Becky, Asuka, Owen, Drew, Sheamus, all the same talent for 5 more years.
So, Junior, I thought the same thing for the longest time with TNA, with Scott D'Amore. I wake up one morning, see the news that he was fired.
And all those talents, all those contracts change, and what do you see?
Right.
All those people who were lifers with Scott D'Amore, whether they be Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander, they're going.
Jordan Grace.
They're
all leaving.
Yeah, and even next year we're going to see, Henry. Joe Henry's going to be heading over. You're going to see probably, Kazuchika Okada, he's out the door. Trent Seven, he's out the door. Jay Chung, she's out the door. Rhino, he's out the door. I would hope that they fire Eddie Edwards and his crack whore wife. You don't need them. Just get them the fuck out of there.
Get him out of there.
JT was saying a lot of these modern wrestlers would not survive in the world of Berserk except for the likes of Rock, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Braun Breaker, and Sheamus. Oh yeah, you'd have to be a legit badass to survive in a world where it's nothing but buff dudes with swords fighting demons. You gotta be a badass for that shit. Bad Sport was saying March pay-per-view in Toronto. I think Trish may return, challenge Tiff for the title, SmackDown's title. Triple threat with Flair at Mania. Her MITV merch last year was SmackDown themed. That's interesting. I mean, if anything, it leads to precedence that we will see Trish in Toronto. Hopefully we do. I mean, I want to see Trish involved in WrestleMania in some sort of aspect. If she's facing fucking Charlotte and Tiff in a triple threat match, whatever. She's in a big spot. I would prefer to be against Liv Morgan, though, because I want Liv Morgan to get her spotlight at WrestleMania.
For sure. And that, just thinking about it kind of makes me a little bit worried that, they were kind of hinting at a feud between Trish and Becky. I really hope they don't do that.
No, that's whack. Alondra said, what's the point of doing post-pressers for fake wrestling? They want to be UFC so bad but lack the masculinity, and it's not a real sport. Absolutely. It's a waste of time. I thought it was a complete waste of time doing the post-presser. I get it. You're trying to bite Tony for the PLEs. You're ripping off his pay-per-view post-press conferences. But to do it for every single show now, your Raw on Netflix, and now your pay-per-views with SmackDown and NXT being the exception, that's really, really cheesy and stupid and a waste of fucking time. Well, who is this for? Who's tuning in to stay and watch the post-press conferences besides the dirt sheets? Who fucking cares? Nothing cool is going to be said. You're not going to see anything groundbreaking. What's the point?
The only thing I can think of is that I do believe they're sponsored. These press conferences have sponsorships. That's what I think it could be. It's just to highlight the sponsor. But honestly, with that being said, is it worth it? I'm like if I'm a wrestler, if I'm busting my ass at a show, I'm beat to shit, I'm tired. Do I want to do some fucking Mark press conference where I interview questions about my action figure line or my newest T-shirt, or do I just want to go to my fucking hotel room, order food, and fucking chill?
Yeah, it's going to be something. It's definitely a different era where I think it's going to burn out the talent more. Especially you have all this bullshit. You have more house shows that they're doing. You're going international. You're going to Europe here in a month. You're going to burn a lot of this talent out heading into WrestleMania. I think, honestly, the Europe tour is the worst fucking idea heading into Mania. If you want to do it afterwards, right after heading into SummerSlam, whatever. But Mania, keep your talent local. Keep them nearby to their houses so that they can heal, so that they can rest right. You're not going to heal right with all those fucked up time zones doing red-eye flights over to Australia and shit and Europe and Japan and whatever. You're not going to heal. Bad Sport was saying, Trish and Tiff teased feud last year. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And Lillian moved to SmackDown. Yeah, we were reporting that Lillian moved to SmackDown, which I think sucks. Why would you take your more talented announcer and move her over? I get it. DEI, you got your rip-off Samantha Irvin. Still, though, it just, to have a more professional show, that would make more sense to me than filling a quota. But, I think they wanted all the boxes checked with Netflix, so... JT said, what about Super Beasto? I've heard good things about it. That's the one I have not seen, his animated movie. So I will check that out if I get the chance, if it's on a streaming service. But all of his
on Tubi, I believe.
Cool. Look. I will have to check it out. But all of his live action movies were just dog shit for me. They just awful. All the same shit. Just a bunch of fucking rednecks doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Okay. All right.
Boom.
Dar said, bizarre thing is the same guys still at me. Well, I think it's more so out of habit. It's just they want to see if they can get a reaction out of you, or they might be fans. I even get interactions with trolls, and they just keep on coming after me and just say stupid shit. And you got to get to the point where you just completely ignore them and they fuck off and they realize that they're wasting their time. That's the biggest thing you can do. No, Brock, he is a pro's pro. He will make anyone and everyone look good, and he protects people he works with, too. You won't ever hear about Brock hurting people. Look at how he beat the shit out of John Cena. You didn't hear John Cena had a massive neck injury after landing on his neck 16 times. He was fine. He's a pro.
He's a pro.
Everything as Rowan said. None of that roster that looks like Joel. Dude is a beast at 53, and none has the charisma that character has either. He's like 6 foot 235. And yeah, that's the thing too. Is in a fictional universe, you can actually make somebody who's a compelling character. Even then, though, with Joel, look what they did with him in Last of Us 2. That to me, that really soured on all the premise that Last of Us 2 had, because a lot of people wanted that to be the perfect sequel. And I really liked Last of Us, the first one. I played that on PS4. It's a great game. Love the mechanics on it. And then it just came to 2, and I'm like, why would you kill off the person that everybody loved? All for this fucking, this butch bull dyke with arms. What the fuck is this shit? I don't know, man. I think they put a bullet in the fucking head of the franchise when they did that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Jared Worldwide was saying, thoughts on Paul Thomas Anderson. He's a creep. JC, does that name sound familiar? Paul Thomas Anderson?
I've never heard of the guy.
I gotta look this guy up right now. Right now, they have the army in a castle. They got the crossbows ready. Griffith is standing there. They got a giant Minotaur dude about to crush. What's up?
So he's the director of There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, The Master, Phantom Thread, Licorice Pizza, Magnolia, Battle of... let's see. Like his really famous ones would be Boogie Nights,
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
I mean, those movies are okay. From his movies alone, I'm not a fan. Like, he's not, like, somebody who I would go out of my way to see Boogie Nights or There Will Be Blood. I've seen both of them, and that was... One view was enough. I'm like, I'm good after that. So, yeah, he's okay. If he's a creep, yeah, then fuck him. You know, I'm with you on that.
For sure.
Alejandro said, do you guys see Punk having a meltdown on one of the pressers in WWE like he did in AEW? I would pay to see that for the entertainment. No, because he realizes that he's under a microscope right now. Especially under this corporate sphere. He has to be very careful what he says. Look how careful he was during that Netflix presser with Seth Rollins. He was on eggshells. Like, Seth kind of figured, he's like, I can say whatever I want, you know. And CM Punk was just like, just hold your tongue. Don't say anything. Don't, like, Punk looked like he wanted to rip him up, but Punk didn't say shit. He was just trying to be very careful. Right now, what are we, like 6 episodes in or so? About 6?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Wait. Damn it.
I think it's 6. Now it's starting to pick up, I gotta say. They were doing some storyline shit, and now you just have these crazy beast fights. You have this big Minotaur guy literally just stomping on dudes. He looks like the devil from Legend. So he's massive. He's like a 20-foot devil beast just stomping on soldiers. Griffith's pulling out his sword. He's wearing his penis armor. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. So Griffith runs up. He's running up to his buddy Gore, I think his name is, or Groth, something like that. It's like, dude, you're going against a 25-foot tall demon. I mean, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Come on, you need help.
Yeah, what are you expecting? Come on. You need help.
You need help. Alejandro said, do you guys see Punk having a meltdown on one of the pressers? Okay, we already covered that. My bad. I'm sorry about that. I saw one pop up. Everything is Ruined said, top 5 underrated Megadeth songs based on riffs. JC, go for it.
All right, top 5 underrated Megadeth songs based on riffs. Let's go with Devil's Island. That's going to be number 5. Or wherever. I'm not going to necessarily rank them specifically, but that's going to be in the top 5 of underrated. So I'm gonna rank that one there. Killing Road, I really like the riff to Killing Road, so I'm gonna put that in the top 5 also. Nothing from So Far So Good So What. I'm not really. I didn't really dig that album too much.
You gotta. I don't know. I don't know. Probably overrated, but I really like Symphony of Destruction.
Symphony of Destruction, but I think he's looking for like underrated Megadeth songs. Like that is
underrated. People really like that one.
Yeah.
All right, I think you got a sufficient list, man.
I got it. Well, let's see. Like if I just see the discography, I'd be able to
Guts.
add on to
Guts. Sorry, VHS. Guts. My bad, dude.
Guts.
And then Zod the Minotaur. Okay.
Zod the Minotaur.
Conjuring and 5 Magics he was talking about. All right.
Okay, yeah, those are fucking fantastic.
Take No Prisoners. Okay.
Take no prisoners. Yes, that's absolutely got to be in there. Dawn Patrol, like I would, but honestly, like it's mostly a bass riff. It's a phenomenal bass riff. Don't get me wrong, but it's yeah. I like those.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's a good list you got there.
You can make a good argument for Dawn Patrol being in there, but yeah, no, I like those.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I'm thinking after this, after we end the stream, JC, I'm just gonna add on the tagline, 2-hour Raw rant. Because that's what we like. I know people were probably looking for us to react more. I'm sorry, but with that Raw debut, I felt like we really needed to voice our opinion on it, and we're not even done, man. Like I said, we got a Triple H as a bad booker coming up this week. We got we're probably gonna do a rebooking of Raw if we have time very soon. I'm gonna try to squeeze it in. We'll see, but I'm aiming to do it very, very soon. But yeah, for sure, Triple H is a bad booker and news. We gotta talk more about this because, I mean, it was raw, it was ripe, it was juicy. We had to. What can I say?
Yeah, it was right there, right there.
Yes. Had to. So this Minotaur dude is talking down to Goth Gore. What's his fucking name again? Don't yell at Guts. He's talking down to Guts. Guts is getting blown by a giant wind from the Minotaur's mouth. And now he's flying up in a tornado. Oh, he's flapping away. He's a Minotaur with wings, damn it. They're all freaking out. They're like, what the fuck just flew out of the castle? What was that? And that was that was some Jeepers Creepers shit right there.
Wild stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh shit! Griffith is knocked out.
Oh shit!
He's got a little pouch of Jew gold around his neck.
Okay.
I think Guts is gonna take it. He's got all the soldiers running up. Yeah, I heard of Metal Church. They're dope.
Are you the only two survivors?
You heard of Metal Church, right, Cheesy?
Yes.
Yes.
My God, what really happened?
My God! What do you think? They fought a 25-foot tall Minotaur. You saw him break through the castle ceiling. Come on, man. Was he just smoking peyote this whole time? I mean, come on.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
So Zod was giving the warning ahead of time. He was letting them know. He was the omen. Gotcha.
It's your fault. You put Griffith in danger. You almost got him killed. It's because of you.
Oh. Who's the chick? She's pissed. The short hair, brown skin. She was pissed. Damn. Well, guys, we got one more. We've got Darth, who's saying impression. Triple H sitting at his desk booking WrestleMania. The Rock comes in and books Triple H in a match in a poisonous leaf-eating match with a koala, which screams at Triple H, making him fear for his life.
Okay.
Alright, shitly booking WrestleMania. Alright, I gotta make sure to squash The Rock. That fucker doesn't know what's coming. He thinks I'm willing to work with him. He's got another thing. Come on in!
Hey there, Noseman.
Wayne, how's it going?
I see you got your granny glasses on and you're scribbling in your coloring book there. Figures. Is that...
some bangers?
Yeah, I can tell you're using all your different colors of crowns. It's quite a masterpiece you got there. So, tell you what, I got a match for you. I'm gonna book you in a match, Triple H. I think that the fans want to see Triple H back in the ring at WrestleMania. What do you say?
I would, Dwayne, but my heart. You get the pacemaker. If I take any bumps, it's gonna blow.
Oh, no. See, I wasn't giving you the option. I was wondering how you felt about my booking. See, I'm going to put you in a match at WrestleMania. And it's going to be a poisonous, leaf-eating match with the koala.
But that's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. And then I won't be able to book bangers.
Brian, bring in the koala.
Oh, sure thing, Rock.
You see that? I can make this koala eat your face off if I really want.
So scared. Dwayne, make it stop. No, I won't give you the power. You'd have to kill me, and even then I wouldn't give you the power.
Too bad.
Dwayne, scaring me. I'm
The
scared
match
of
is
koalas.
done. The match is done. You, koala, WrestleMania. poisonous leaf match. You're fucked.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. NC.
JC and
Peace out.